Are they U-shaped tubes?
The U-tubes?
Wait, do I tube
But
myself?
if the tube was shaped like a U, you'd just be back where you started.
Music today is
down,
horrible.
Does it become an in-tube?
Back in my day, the tubes. I don't know. I got
have
nothing. That's
such
not going anywhere good, so I'm just going to stop.
Back in my day, the internet
so
came in tubes, and darn it, we were happy.
Happy with those tubes.
It
They
was
were copper
$50
tubes.
a tube.
Uphill both ways in the snow.
We used to walk 20 miles a day.
Hi guys, welcome to the stream. I think we're live.
Maybe.
Like
Maybe.
Professionals.
Maybe.
professional streamer
Yay.
group
Hashtag best streamers ever.
ever. All right, it does tell me we're live, so we're
Huzzah.
gonna go with it. We're
All
gonna
right.
believe it. Hi guys, welcome back.
We're gonna believe the interwebs. That's a mistake.
Nothing ever bad came from that, right? It's fine.
No.
They were never found again.
Womp, womp, womp. Welcome, guys, to the Edge of the Empire stream. As always, like we've been doing this for so many years, episode 2.
So
I am joined
So many.
by a band of misfits.
Wow.
Oh yeah. That's probably the kindest term for what we are.
That was
that
I
seems
got to
totally
keep this
legit.
family friendly, right? Like
Yeah,
advertiser
sure.
friendly is what YouTube is all about now. So, and that's me. I am the soul of advertiser friendly. You didn't know.
Yep.
XP
Yep.
Gamers now family friendly.
No salt. No salt. Anyways, let's go around the table. We got Tabby and Boots. Hi, Tabby.
Hi.
We got Textfire.
Howdy.
And pizza.
Pizza.
What?
You got pizza?
Wait.
I don't have pizza.
Please
Pizza,
say that.
pizza comes as a one now?
That's the one
Yeah.
bad thing about playing on this digital table. We can't have like a pizza sitting on the side of it.
Oh,
damn.
that would be awesome.
Oh man, wouldn't it be? We got Blitz Darkwater. You may know him from the Discord community. He's one of our
Hello,
moderators.
hello.
And there's that other green guy back there.
Yes.
You want to
Cantios.
say his name? Or...
I thought about it. Character Cantios. I always say your name like 3 different ways, and I was picking which way I was going to say today.
There was
Right.
decision
So you
making.
introduced me and Tabby
Advisor.
and Blitz by name, but Avacern by character name.
Well, the problem is his other name is his character name from another RPG that we played together. So really, it's always character name. He's a man
That's
of many
your fault.
faces.
He's
It's
got so
okay,
much
Jack.
character, he's just overflowing.
You always get it wrong anyway.
Says the winking Wookie.
The Wookiee wing.
The Wookiee wink with his all that charisma. All right.
Inside
That's an
jokes.
entirely different series.
Different series,
is.
different. Anyways,
It
let's get into the characters that we've gotten so far. So I figure we should walk around the table. I'm going to do a quick like run up of where we're at so far. Bear in mind, everybody, this was kind of a confusing point in the last episode for some people where we've been playing this for going on a couple of months now. So we're actually on like session 6? 6? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're on 6.
I'm a good
Something like
GM.
that.
I keep track of how many sessions we've had. 6?
We've been playing for over a month and a half now.
It's been a while.
Quotation marks.
But we've only streamed
Good
one
GM.
of them. Make that 2. Just shish over there. Dude,
This
you
will be
green
the
self.
second.
So we'll go around the table. We'll talk about our characters, and then we'll do the story update for you guys. We are looking at from my perspective this time. I know a lot of people had some complaints about the view, but all right. So Tabby, what's your character like?
Well, I've got Keldor, who is her name is Cree, and she is well, we found out last time she is force sensitive. So she's got some fun stuff happening there. She doesn't quite know what this whole force business is, so that's one of the things she is out in the world trying to find out.
What it means, what it is. Keep in mind, this is the time period after the destruction of the first Death Star. The Jedi are long gone, so it's all like misinformation and confusing. So, yeah, that's for the audience. I know you know this.
Yeah,
We just think about jazz hands.
Totally know.
Oh,
jazz
jazz
hands.
Jazz hands.
Jedi jazz hands.
All right. So is there anything else you want to talk about for your character? Or are you just gonna keep it to the story?
Well, she's not very good at that whole, like, shooting thing, but she's really smart. So, that's kind of the ups and downs of her character. She thinks she's badass. She wants to be badass. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it does not.
It's so true. It's so true. All right. So, Texfire, tell us about your character. I've got him put up on the screen right now, by the way.
So I'm playing, today I'll be playing the part of Vicdaw, otherwise known as Vic Selden. He is a four-armed creature, which is a race called the Basilisk, which are one of the core races in the Star Wars universe. And he was about 10 years old when the Empire arrived on Oyum and took over all the orbital infrastructure. And basically, the only way to get off-world was then to basically go through Imperial schooling and sort of work for the Empire as manual labor up in the stations. So Vic did that, but over the next 30 years, learned a lot about tech by working on broken equipment that he was given by other techs, and eventually had to flee his world. He hasn't really talked about why yet, other than he got a little unwelcome HUD attention and had to get the heck out of town really quick. He has since found himself, worked his way out as a technician out towards the Rim. He's not very good with relating to people, but he's really good at relating to equipment. So sometimes some subtler differences kind of fly over his head when he's talking to people. And he has taken a shine to Kree and calls her little sister.
We are not actually related.
You don't say.
She didn't have,
Man,
she didn't
I was
have the
wondering.
right
I was
number
very
of arms
confused.
to really be a basilisk.
You guys look so much alike. Just a couple extra hands and you'd be set.
Don't get me wrong, little sister. I mean, you're attractive for your own race, I'm sure, but you're missing about 6 arms to be really attractive to a basilisk. So,
Good to know.
Jeez.
Wow.
All right, well, going around the table, continuing, we've got that other player over there in the corner. Visern, Aversern. Tell us about your character.
Well, he doesn't understand why he's here, and certainly doesn't like the fact that he's with a bunch of goody-goody two-shoes that want to help every little town that they get to.
They've helped one town.
Every little town and Jawas.
One town is every town.
Exactly.
I see how this works.
In his mind, they all look the same on Tatooine.
It's because they all look the
Just more
same on
dirt.
Tatooine.
More dirt buildings. But he's kind of a stealthy character. He likes to go stealth himself. You know. He's from Coruscant originally, so he's not used to the sand. He got into some trouble with some certain Imperials. Currently, the only family he has may not be alive, but we'll get to that later. And yeah, he's just trying to get off the planet, and the group he's with currently is his best bet of doing that.
Indeed. And this is the youngest character of the group.
Yes.
All right, cool. And Blitz, tell us about Ranger.
Alright, so Ranger is a Mandalorian. Grew up in Mandalore, had quite a strict father, like kind of taught him the older Mandalorian ways, and then growing up, the Empire slowly started to get more power on Mandalore, and him and his father kind of grew to not dislike the Empire. Growing up, he obviously had to leave Mandalore eventually, just due to the Empire's influence. Sort of a mysterious backstory between then and this point, which will be revealed at a later date. Kind of working as a low-level bounty hunter for the time being. Kind of a natural-born leader, likes to lead a team, likes to be out there on the field, be at the front. As of late, he's taken a shining to Cantios. He feels he needs a little bit of a push towards the correct direction in life. But he will never let his team down. He will always fight for his hardest.
All right, there you go, guys. So that's the update for the characters. I know people were questioning about it. We kind of just jumped into the first episode. It's a really fun group of characters, and the interactions have been great. All right, so let's go through real quick, just an update on where the story is. So we are like 6 episodes in, or 6 sessions in. This is the second streamed episode. Last time, just to run through, they've crash landed on Tatooine after being hijacked. They've been grabbed from the other places they were out on the Rim and all ended up on a ship where they managed to escape, land on Tatooine. They made their way to a local settlement, ended up helping that settlement with a Tusken attack, and found out that the Tuskens are active, very active right now, and hostile. compared to any time in the more recent history. They made it to the first major town, which was the last episode. That was, let's look over at the map real quick, and I'll show you guys where they are at. Zoom in. You guys are in Mos Enta. They helped out Mos Take, and you decided in the last episode. Well, actually, no. That's where our Tabby or Cree will tell us what happened last time to set the scene for today's.
One other important piece of back information too is that while in Mos Take, that we went ahead and ran into some two Swoop gangers who were assaulting and robbing the townspeople under the cover of the attack. And killed both of them, ended up with their Swoop bikes, but have gained the attention of the Swoop gang by doing so, and actually had a running battle inside their land speeder and Swoop bikes, with the Swoop gang escaping them just narrowly.
Also, I caught an axe in the chest.
And you caught an axe from one of the Swoop gang members. It almost killed you. It's very true. So
Caught it with my chest.
that brought them on the radar of the Swoop gang that they learned was the Squill Kings. They were chased to Mos Enta. And when they got to Mos Enta, after having a look around, the bounty hunter, the journeyman bounty hunter ranger, found this. Thank you for pulling that out, by the way. A couple of wanted posters, and they decided as a group, well, that's where Tabby can take it up. So go ahead.
Oh, what? Right. Got to town. We healed up from our shootout with the Swoop bike gangers. I guess a couple of us went on walkabout around the town at night and found out some interesting information, some bounties and such. And then we bought a new car. We went to Max's used ground transport emporium. We traded in some of our other old kind of beat up stuff and got a fancy new the Bantha 1, a small skiff. So we then immediately drove out into the desert with. We were ambushed on the way because we don't go into the tall sands.
Don't go into the tall sands?
Tall
Yeah.
sands.
Don't go into the tall grass. And don't disturb the water.
Wait,
Don't
what?
disturb the sands.
If you walk without a rhythm, you won't attract a worm.
Worms are bad. Sandworms are even worse. And then we got ambushed again. Seems to be a thing that keeps happening. We handled the ambush, and now we are heading off to the rest of the hideout, the Squill King's hideout.
To collect on a bounty, I believe.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive. You're coming with me. All right, so... Excuse me. So, we find our heroes traveling... It is now nighttime, I believe we left off last time.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys...
Do you want us to roll for destiny points, though?
Yeah, let's actually roll for destiny points, then we'll do it. So,
Add
there
one
goes
light
GM.
side before any roll happens.
2 light side.
2 light side for Vic, 1 light side from the GM.
One light side for Rob, or Eliza.
All
One
right.
dark side from Ranger.
1 dark side. You guys got a lot of light side built up. So, we're rolling using... What?
Sorry, it keeps landing on the corner.
Stick it on the table.
2 light side.
Two more light
Okay,
side.
then-
Really? All right, let me move the dark side over and just get some space here. It's, it's
Screw you,
fine.
dark side.
They all need to use some destiny points, because look at that. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
We had every
Good
episode up until the
7?
last one has been this, like, even mix of light and dark side. And now, today, it's
then-
crazy.
And then someone became a paragon of the light.
Grr. So, all right.
Yeah.
We got our light side, dark
I
side.
don't know what that means.
So last time, we left our heroes traveling the desert wastelands. After an ambush, they managed to take out all of the would-be ambushers. One tried to make it away, jumping on a swoop bike and flooring it in the direction that they were actually traveling in. But with a smooth shot from, what was that? Was it you, Cat?
Ranger.
It was Ranger.
No, Ranger.
Me, I was
Ra-
Ranger.
Ranger put a shot into him, actually flipped the bike over, and it exploded in a fiery ball of death and destruction, destroying all of the would-be loot as well. They looted the corpses, grabbed a few new weapons, and have loaded back up and set off toward the coordinates that they got from a very scared young man who had chased them to Mosintha.
One of the swoop gangers, yeah.
One of the swoop gangers. So they have these coordinates that you're traveling on. I had you guys roll at the end of the last session to find out how well the driving went and the path that you would take. The rolls were interesting, to say the least.
I know.
But
Our rolls are interesting.
as you continue on your journey, you're actually making your way. As you notice, the terrain is starting to lift up. You're actually gaining in elevation as you go. The rocky terrain has kind of guided you into certain paths, and you're trying your best to follow the basically the GPS coordinates that you guys have. As you make your way, you can see in the distance nothing but the sand dunes far below you. And at the extreme range of your vision, you can see that this rocky terrain that you've decided to follow, because of a warning from Kree, that it seems to just end ahead of you. Maybe it's a cliff, maybe it's a rolling drop. You can't really tell from where you are, but you can definitely tell that you are now at a much higher elevation, and you can see out into just a sea of dunes. What do you want to do?
One could call it a dune sea.
One could, but it wouldn't
slow
actually be the Dune
down?
Sea. It's in another area. That's actually a place, and it is not here.
I think perhaps we should slow down to check out this possible cliff in front of us.
Yeah, let's ease it down. Maybe we can get a good view from the cliff.
No, well,
Maybe.
oh yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry.
You
I was
Vic?
listening to the engine. I think it's a little off by a couple of points. Maybe like in the 4,000 hertz range. I'll have to align that with Hydrospanner when we get a chance.
Yeah, whatever you need to do, Vic,
English,
just do
Vic,
it.
English.
Oh, I need to mess with the engine at some point, but probably not right now.
I see.
Well, probably not. Yeah.
Due to your driver's distraction as of listening to this engine firing, maybe it's just not quite right. His mechanic skills kind of take over his brain for a while, and you guys go on a really windy route that takes you about 4 times as long as it probably should have had to get to the coordinates, meaning that the sun is actually just starting to rise now as you start to crest over this drop. You're starting to approach it, so you're slowing down. All right, so this vehicle is stopped.
Told you we should have taken that right.
Why did we go
Always take
around
the
that
left in
mountain?
Albuquerque. What?
Yeah, where is this Albuquerque place you wanted us to go to anyway? I don't understand.
I didn't say Albuquerque. God damn it.
So the speeder is stopped.
The speeder is stopped. Ahead of you is the coordinates that you're looking for. You're up on a mountainous, rocky terrain right now that seems far in front of you. It seems to just drop off.
Hey, Cantus, can you give it a look around? You got the best eyes.
Uh-huh. Sure. Just send
your
me out
eyes.
first.
Take a look around.
Alright.
It's your job.
I'll take a look around and see if I can see anything at the coordinates.
Okay, so you're heading ahead of the team and going forward?
Yes.
Are you, okay.
Are we all?
And I'm going to roll perception.
You're just gonna look. Okay, so you're just walking up there and rolling perception. Okay.
Or should I? Yeah, that's what I'm
So
doing.
we're
Stealth
approaching a
yourself.
cliff or what?
Sneaky.
You're approaching, well, you're at extreme range right now. You can tell that in front of you, you see that you've raised an elevation as you've gone through this other route that you decided to take in the last episode. In front of you, you're far above the dunes below, but they are quite a
okay.
ways out.
Alright, so I will become the night in the daytime.
You're stealthing yourself.
Yes.
You are the knight.
Go ahead
in the
and roll.
morning.
Too bad it's daytime.
Alright, I got 4 success and 1 advantage.
4 success and 1 advantage. All right. So, for all you know, you are the knight.
The night.
You have disappeared. Whoosh, gone. What are you doing?
I'm going to walk up and use my perception to look down the dune path and see like over the cliff almost.
Okay, so it's quite a ways. You start making your way slowly, quietly. The rocky terrain is fairly easy for you to keep quiet. As you get toward the edge of what ends up being a cliffside, the sheer cliffside that drops down, you start to see signs of a settlement below. And what you see, good sir, is a couple of 3 buildings below you. You're actually up on top of a cliff looking down at them. The farthest building is at long range to you. The closest building to you is at medium range. You see these three older buildings. One of them is almost in rubble. The other ones have cracks running through them. They look like they were abandoned, but as you get a closer look, it looks like they may have squatters. And two structures look like they've been haphazardly put together, made out of metal that's been tied and attached together. Just any kind of scrap that they could get their hands on to make. And as you get a closer look, go ahead and roll a perception check.
All right, 2 success, 2 advantage, and a triumph.
And a triumph. Okay, the two metal structures that you see as you focus in on them are makeshift, looks like guard shacks of some kind, almost like a small guard tower. You can see a couple of individuals standing inside the guard towers. There is an entranceway to your left. It looks like some kind of cave entrance. And there are a number of individuals looking down that cave, standing behind what looks like some makeshift sandbags, and a large emplacement, a weapon, sitting behind those sandbags with a man with his feet propped up on top of it, smoking what's probably a death stick. You've probably found what you're looking for.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to radio back in using my comlink. Ranger, I found him.
You found the base?
Oh, yeah. Kind
Or
of
is there
like a shanty
safe,
town.
Is there a safe route down?
No, this is a sheer cliffside, my friend.
Right, I'm back then.
Well, what I'm looking at right now... you know what? Yeah, I'll just tell you when I get back. Alright, I'm going to head back now.
I'll just go ahead and reveal it for you, since now that you've seen it. The rest of you have not seen this, only Cantios has.
Cantios.
And just to give you guys a reference, you are off in this direction quite a far ways out.
Oh.
Far above the dunes below you.
Okay. So have I gotten back yet?
Yep, so you've made it back quietly. You hear no sound of alarm or anything like that. Nothing has given away your position. And you make it back to the skiff now, powered down.
Alright, Kentius, what'd you see? Defensive placements, guns, turrets, what?
Surprisingly, yes, a lot of those. They got 2 guard towers. They got a nice defensive emplacement. It's what seems to be the only entrance, the cave. I don't know about the back entrance this guy was talking about. I couldn't really see that too much.
Yeah, didn't he talk about back way in? That was booby-trapped?
He said it was a booby-trapped back entrance. I don't know. Did I see that?
Did you see the back entrance? A back entrance? Yeah. You saw a couple of entrances in your brief glance around, and you looked around, but you did not see anything that you would stand out to you as a back entrance. It may be on the other side of a building, but yeah. 1 large building, 2 smaller buildings, one of them is partially collapsed, is what you've seen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is the partially collapsed one?
Yeah, here's the partially collapsed building that you saw. The makeshift guard towers are here and over here. Hopefully you guys can see my pointer roaming about with individuals. There's the emplacements that I was talking about, and you've got your entrance that you noticed. Over here you can't really see because this is kind of blocking it, and so is the rubble pile. So over here is something it's just blocked from your perspective at the moment. And then individuals that you noticed as you sat there, and you only sat there for a couple of minutes, I believe, right? You only sat there for a few minutes?
Yeah, not too long.
So you noticed that these individuals were kind of walking around and meandering about a bit, just going about their day. And you did notice a couple, and you didn't really glance. You glanced over. You did notice a couple of these small cylinder-like objects sticking out of the sand around the base.
Yeah, that wasn't too much of a note. They did have these weird, like, fencing structures all around. Almost like they were trying to keep something out. They weren't connected-wise, but it looked like a perimeter fence, but without the fencing.
Maybe they're adding extra defenses. Anyone got any bright ideas?
It could become some kind of alarm perimeter.
Could be. Maybe we could
Just
set
from
it
what
off
you're
one side.
describing, if it's like little pylons that are arranged around it.
Well, maybe they really are sandworms, and those are to keep them out.
Perhaps. Maybe like a like a sonar, a ground sonar type of thing.
Would you know, Ranger? Would the miners have told you about any sort of like wildlife defensive things?
I did get a lot of information off them. Maybe I
Go
can just
ahead
check
and
my
roll a
date.
knowledge check.
Do I get a bonus for talking to the miners before?
Only reason you're able to roll is because you talked to the miners about this.
Ah, God damn it.
About
Would that be knowledge? So what knowledge skill?
it's your choice. For this one, I mean, it could be survival. Yeah, go with survival on this one.
Okay.
Unless you can make a case for a different one.
No. Nope. Definitely not. Be the same roll. Success and 2 advantage.
Success and 2 advantage. Okay. You've no idea.
Nah, damn. I got no idea what they can mean.
Would I know of any potential wildlife sorts of fencing or anything like that that could have been used on different worlds? Theory?
Do a xenology check. Why not? Let's see.
That's
Why
kind
not?
of stretching
Alright.
it, but alright.
Take away 1 setback. Pretty please.
Okay.
One success and 3 advantage.
Oh, yeah, you have no idea. It could be anything.
It really wasn't my specialty in school.
What was your specialty
Lots of
again?
things come up in your head, you have no idea.
Right, well, their only option is to go for the fencing. And did you say there was a cave entrance?
There was one that I could see. I could probably scout this place out a bit more.
Heavily defended.
It is pretty heavily defended, yeah.
Keep in mind, you are hearing about this from the perspective of Cantios and his experiences. So,
And from what I have said, it's pretty defended.
So the cliff that we're on, does it surround this place, or is it like complete? Is
No.
it like a?
It does not surround it, it merely touches it, and then the rest is the sea of sand.
Okay, so beyond the cliffside, it's like this little town nestled up to the cliff, and there's just sand beyond.
Wherever the fences are, there's sand touching it, meaning leading me to believe it is in fact to stop something.
Maybe we can think about getting the Victor. What do you reckon? You could overload one of them pylons?
That would require us to touch the sand.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I really can't tell without looking at one. I mean, I would guess it's either some kind of alarm perimeter fence, or worst case scenario is some kind of like electric fence or shield generation or something like that. But I would think if it was that, we'd see some kind of shimmer in the air or something. I really can't tell without getting a little bit closer. You think we could get close enough to take a look at one without getting spotted?
I mean, I could. I don't know about you.
I know. I've been watching you sneak around. I think I could do that. I mean, did you see that shot I made last time? I mean, I'm getting pretty good at this adventuring thing.
That was a great
Sure
shot.
you are, Vic.
I must admit, that was a great shot.
I don't know about that stealth thing though, where you drive up your skiff immediately on top of someone.
He stopped short.
Probably shouldn't do that. That might get a little attention.
Alright, how about we all
No.
dismount here? And we
Well,
can go and see
maybe
that.
we should tell you what. I'll take some of my stuff out, you know, and we'll leave it here at the skiff and try and lighten our load a little bit. Maybe I'll be a little quieter.
Yeah, I might have to do that too.
Alright, let's
Maybe.
dismount and let's move out. Let's get a move on.
Got a bunch of stuff that I have to just get out of my backpack. I'm gonna open my
Oh, yeah,
backpack up and just kind of start dumping in my my lovely lockpicks.
so you
My
see
lockpick kit.
You see Cantios take his backpack off and sling it around his shoulder and open it up, and you see him start taking out lockpick, like, tool kits, right? We're not talking like a lockpick. We're talking about like a full-on kit with all of the tools necessary to open a variety of locks. And he opens and he pulls out one, and he pulls out two. And how many of these are you pulling out?
4.
They're big, heavy things, right? Like, these are big kits.
Time to lighten the load.
Oh, hey, I got a lock over here, kid. Just out of curiosity, why are you carrying so many of these things?
Honestly, you never know when you're gonna need them.
Well, all right. Looks like it does weigh a lot. Vic's gonna go ahead and leave behind some of this stuff at the skiff, like the. Hey Ranger, you think I need to take this rifle? I'm not very good with rifles. I'm better with pistols, I think.
The long-range shots might be required here, Vic, but
Well,
we're
I
going
mean,
in we're going in close combat, so maybe you're right. Leave it behind.
Okay.
That's your choice. My recommendation would be leave it behind, because we're going in close.
So he's gonna take out some of his unnecessary stuff, secure it on the skiff.
Okay. So the skiff has this big cargo section that's actually built into that center seat. So you guys crack that thing open, start putting stuff inside of it. Now keep in mind when you're looking over this, I would say from this range, so maybe about anything lower than 10 on here is going to be your short range. So anything out to 20 would be your medium, and then we'll go with 30 for long, and then continue that through extreme range. So that's the ranges on this particular map.
Okay.
Okay, you guys are dropping all your stuff off, putting the weapons away that you're not going to need. Make sure you grab the gear that you do need, because I think you guys put some stuff in there before. And
No, the carbine's on my back.
Yeah. Hey Ranger. Got any more
what's
of
up?
those grenades?
I simply tap at my belt, and I've got 4 grenades sitting on my belt. Oh yeah. We want a couple?
You think I could buy one of those?
Yeah, sure. And clip it safely. Hand it over to Vic.
Borrowing means you intend to give it back.
Wait, how'd you plan to give it back to me?
Unless I end up loaning it to somebody else. You know what I mean?
Hey, I get you. Hey, Kentus, do you want to carry one?
Nah, it's not my style.
Alright then. Alright, I got 3 grenades left then.
See it how it is.
oh,
Hey, Creature, you want one? I just saw like Cree sitting there with hands open.
Oh, I'll
Cree,
take one.
you want one?
Yeah.
Sure, here you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
What kind of grenade is this?
It's
One
you
that
can
explodes.
borrow the card if you want to note it down.
Yeah.
Can we clone it?
yeah, I can clone it.
Frag
Where's the
grenade,
card
wasn't
for it? Is it just a normal
Red
frag grenade that
bar,
you're giving her?
Over here.
C22.
There you go. Does anybody else need one?
Yeah, I'll take one.
Text does.
Text does? Okay, it's right in front of you. So, yep. Know what it does.
Right. Let's take it easy, take it slow. It's still coming up to early morning, so most of them will hopefully just be getting up after a rough night.
These have a timer?
All they do.
Depends on what you set it as.
I'd like to think that Ranger kind of went through the basics, like, okay, you set this one for impact on, I'll explode on impact, this switch for timer, you could set your seconds here.
Yeah, unless you say it, it doesn't happen. So, okay, so you're running through the basics on how these grenades work, since you are dealing with a group of people who have never held one of these before.
You don't know. I haven't
He
ever held
guess.
one of these
I think he
before.
can guess.
I can guess.
We don't know.
I can guess.
He's a world-renowned criminal right now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know your background. You sent me your background, so I do know, actually.
Yeah.
So, all right, you are now familiar with the basics of a frag grenade, though you have never thrown one before.
Alright, you guys got that?
Got it.
Yes. You hold it in one hand. You pull the pin with another hand. You point with the third hand, and you throw it. And then Mr. Grenade's no longer your friend. I got that right?
That'll do.
Now, what do you do with the fourth hand?
You
it off.
prepare to pump your hand in the air in a victory gesture.
I see.
That's exactly right, Vic. Well trained.
Good tech, simple tech, hard to screw up.
You say that.
You say that, yeah.
Right, so should we go pylons?
Well,
See
is
if we can
there
take a
a
look.
way, can we see, because we've got a sheer cliff in front of us. We've got the cave to our left that we're thinking leads down to the entrance below.
You guys are at long range, so you can just see the crest of the cliffside, right? In front of that is just sand. So at the moment, you guys can see nothing. All you have is the rough description of what Cantios has told you. What he did see was there is an opening that runs into the cliffside that turns into what looks like a tunnelway. But that's all you can see. You have no idea where it goes. And they've got some emplacements that seem to be aiming down that direction, as if prepared.
So it looks like the pylons will be the least defended, but there's the risk of attracting whatever greed.
Least defended. I did see it. There's something over there. I can only assume is what they described as the tank.
You don't know something's over there.
Well,
Oh, I thought I saw that.
You didn't see that. There's a tower in the way. You didn't see any of that.
I
never
see,
mind.
I
You
didn't see any of
anything like that.
You didn't see nothing like
I'll tell
that.
you what.
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling pretty good with my new stealthy boots. I'm gonna roll for stealth, and I say we go take a look.
Oh, I can go back and get more scouting. Maybe go along the ridge line.
Alright, if you
So,
two are feeling brave.
Hey Ranger,
Alrighty.
how do you feel about this idea?
Stealthing up to the side and
If
getting a good look.
you're the best shot here. So you think maybe if you go up to where Cantios was describing this little cliff, you'd give you a way to sort of watch while we sneak into one of those pylons and see if I can maybe disable it?
It's not impossible, but I'm not very stealthy. But
3
Hell.
success. Got
3
my hood
success
up.
on your stealth. Okay. And who else is going?
Well, I'm going. Do I have to re-stealth, or do I just use my 4 success advantage from before?
You can just use the... Actually, no, you do have to re-stealth because you came back, had a conversation, and now you're about to head back in, so...
So become the knight again, I see.
Yeah. What'd you get, Kree, on your stealthy roll?
3 success.
3 success. Okay.
So what you want me to do, kid? You want me to come with you and take a look at that pylon, or you want me to stay here with the ranger?
well, who wants to go and check out the pylon? Perhaps Vic and Cantios go and check out the pylon, and maybe then me and Kree can go up to the cliff edge and see what we can see.
Yeah, I can go with Vic.
Yeah.
You want me
Sounds
to?
good.
Yeah, I guess I have to roll stealth to go with Vic.
I've got my little blaster pistol out. My hood is up, and I'm feeling stealthy.
Vic is attempting to be stealthy, and he rolled 3 success and 1 advantage.
Okay.
I rolled 2 success and a triumph. So yeah,
Okay. That's good to know.
I am the knight.
You are the
He's
knight
night in the morning.
In the day,
in
yes.
the day.
Alright, Ranger's also going to attempt to be stealthy.
Okay.
And he's rolling. Ooh, 4 success and an advantage.
Ooh,
Jeez.
stealthy man.
You guys are rolling really good today. All
Yeah,
right.
a stealthy little bunch.
So you got rid of all that extra weight that was slowing you down, and you find that it's a lot easier, you're a lot lighter on your feet as you move through the rocky surface. Not being careful not to, as you approach these cliff sides, these areas that you're heading towards, to knock over any rocks that might give away your position to the people below. And now you know where they're at, so it should give you a bit of an advantage on when to be really quiet. So you move up fairly quickly. Where are each of you going? Where are the groups heading?
Well, we are heading this way towards the pylons.
Okay.
I can assume, right, Vic? Yeah.
Yep.
So you're heading
I
towards the
believe me and
pylons.
Kree are going to head up to the cliffside edge.
And be Overwatch.
Unless you want to go with them, Kree. And then maybe I can sit
No.
up there and do Overwatch.
No, we'll go together.
Okay, so you guys who split up, Cantios and Vic, as you make your way toward the cliffside quietly, slowly, Cantios slightly slips on some loose soil that he thought was fairly stable, and one of the rocks starts falling down the side of the wall. The guard, who was at the time enjoying his drink here, stands up and starts looking in this general direction.
Damn it! I'm more pissed off at 2 success and a triumph does that.
He doesn't see it. You guys, what are you gonna do?
I'm going to duck down.
Freeze.
You guys both freeze up. Guard looks over.
Vic goes down to all sixes.
All sixes. Fair enough. You freeze. You drop down. Guard looks around. Must have been my imagination. Goes back to his drink and sits back down.
Oh, God.
Hey, you guys cool over there?
Like the night. Like the night.
So as you approach,
Quiet.
as you approach the end of kind of where the cliff starts dropping down very rapidly, there is a route down that you can see, decent handholds, some areas that might be a little bit scarier than others, but you could probably make your way down there if you wanted to give it a shot. It'd be a bit of a climb, though. So while
Would
you
that
guys
be coordination or athletics?
that would be probably both, actually. You'd have to roll because it's a windy route, and then there's some cliff areas, so you'd have to do both of the rolls.
Okay.
So, Ranger and Cree.
Rope.
While they're doing this, what are you doing?
We're gonna stealth up to the cliffside. I know Ranger's got that sweet rifle with the scope. See if we can get a good lay of the land.
I'd like to get prone, maybe find myself a nice rest, of which I can kind of
I'm
see the
gonna
majority of what I can see in
look-
front of me.
Look over at Ranger and do what he does.
Okay, so
He looks like he knows what he's doing.
So Ranger finds outcropping of rocks on the cliffside, and you kind of wedge yourself in between the two, resting your rifle ever so subtly. Not so your silhouette is given away, because you're trained at this. You know what you're doing. You actually keep yourself slightly back, but you do get your rifle out. You're able to look down your scope, and here's what you see. So you do see the collection of buildings. One of them is rubble that is closest to you here. You see a... Go ahead and do a perception check. See what
Alright.
detail you see.
Do I get any bonuses for looking down my scope?
Yeah, go ahead and take one bonus for the scope.
3 success and 2 advantage.
Okay, well, it's nothing but threat, so you don't get any of the advantage, but you do get the success. So you look down your scope and you see a handful of buildings. They're old. It looks like they were abandoned a long time ago. Probably some kind of... Do a warfare check real quick. Let's see how much information you can gather.
Alright, let's see. 1 advantage. Nothing.
Okay, so anyways, you do see the structures down there. You can see a handful of guards, people working. You do see a number of individuals walking back and forth from this this back area here, though from your current vantage point on the hillside, you can just make out that they're unloading crates of goods and walking inside the largest structure. The structure itself has 2 round domes on the top. There's only one entrance that you can see from your current perspective, though you do see what used to be a wall right about here that's crumbled on both sides. You see a couple of containers and the edge of what... Let's see. Yeah, you see the edge of what looks like possibly some kind of generator. You see a guard standing here next to a twin doors of this structure. This is completely closed off and there are no windows. You do see the 2 guard towers from your current position. You do see a defensive position, the closest to you, but not aiming so much up or even concerned about the ridgeline above you, but looking down toward this tunnel way.
Alright then. I have to get on the comlink, just very quietly. Relay most of that information back, especially the generator. Guys, they got a generator by the looks of it, a couple of storage containers. They seem to be unloading something. Just crates and crates, but I can't see what they're unloading from. Heavy gun displacements, as Kantios already told us. Yeah, this is not a bad setup.
You think we were safe to continue onward here? Or
Just
we
watch out for that
find
guard
another-
tower on your left, and I don't know what they're unloading, but it could be that giant tracked vehicle that we got us with last time, but I don't know, I can't confirm that. They're unloading something, and it's going to take a lot of cargo.
if we were able to sneak up to that thing, had a big gun on it, they were saying.
Like the night.
Let's see if we can get past those pylons, and then maybe we can have some fun.
Alright, sounds good.
All right, so what is Cantios and Vic up to?
So
We're gonna go
I'm
down the cliff.
going to attempt to go down the path, staying low, using all of his arms.
Okay, so you're using all your arms. Who's going first?
So you wanted a coordination check?
Well, hang on just a second. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Vic?
Oh, you
no,
know, Vic
all right.
goes first. Yeah, he has the most arms. Makes sense.
Okay, Vic starts lowering himself down.
Cover me, kid.
The first part is a slight incline before it drops to like a sheer drop, but it only drops for about 3 or 4 feet. So go ahead and do a coordination check to see if you can easily bring yourself down without slipping off the edge and dying horribly.
Did they? I can't tell how they landed.
1 success, 1 advantage, looks like.
If it's
looks
cocked,
like
reroll.
Okay.
Right. Here we go.
One success, 2 advantage.
1 success and 2 advantage. Okay, so you've got 2 hands up and you're trying to get grip with the second hands below you, and while you're so focused on your all of the hands that you have, your foot below you starts to slip. And now your left hand starts to slip. The one on the bottom. And you can feel your right hand starting to give.
And this is when Cantios throws out his hand to try and catch the 100-pound.
And can he do it like
Yeah.
an athletic checks to see if he can?
Yeah, no,
catch
just
himself?
tell me what you're doing. You just tell me what you're doing. So you're going to
trying
reach
to-
out and try to
so-
grab him?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
I have a setback minus a setback dice on the athletics check.
Okay, so you reach out, try to grab him before his other hand slips.
2 success.
2 success, and you manage to grab him and pull him back to the wall. You feel it, Vic, as you slam back into the wall and grab on. We're going to see if the guard notices you. Oh, oops. The guard isn't aware at all. He's not paying attention. But you manage to regain your footing and begin to make your way down. So you get down to the ledge, and now it's just a matter of staying quiet and working your way down without actually like slipping at this point. So you've made it down the sheerest portion of it. Cantios, you ready to make your move down?
Yeah, I kind of look at him like shaking my head, 4 arms. Can't make it down.
I'm like the night.
All right, go and make your roll.
With
Older in the
the
night.
coordination check, I also have a -1 to disadvantage.
Okay.
Fun little things.
Yeah. Nice.
2 success, 3 advantage.
2 success and 3 advantage. Okay, so you slip, fall straight on the back of your on the ledge bit. You start to roll and fall off the rest of it.
Vic's gonna try and grab him.
You try to grab him?
Rolling over.
Okay, so he is falling head first now. You're reaching out, you're going to grab him. Go ahead and do a... This is just going to be a feat of
Athletics.
strength. So athletics check. Because he's falling. He's going to go straight down.
Oh,
Oh god.
How did you
2
roll?
advantage. 2 advantage.
I'm gonna hit my head.
Just 2 advantage. Okay, so Cantios, you start to slip. You go straight back on your back. You smack your back on the bit of the ledge that Vic has managed to grab onto. You're right next to him now. He tries to reach out and grab you, but not in time before you just kind of like roll back in the shock and go off the side. You start to slide down this hill. Now, this isn't the sheer cliff, but this is a pretty steep incline, and you're now head on your back, head back, sliding down the hill. We're gonna roll to see if this guy notices you as you slide down the hillside. Vigilance check. So, oh my god. Completely not paying attention. Whatever is in this pirate's drink, he is just, and that was he's just not paying attention. You are now sliding back. Go ahead and roll give me a coordination check to see if you can keep yourself from continuing to slide down the rest of the hillside. There's a large ledge coming up. You reach out to grab it.
5 success.
Oh my god, and you definitely grab it, pull yourself up and back on your feet and behind the ledge. As you do this, the pirate, the Swoop gang guard, as it was, it kind of like looks over as if he thought he heard something, but now he just doesn't give a damn anymore. He doesn't care. He goes right back to his drink, sipping on it. For the damage, take 3 damage from the impact.
Hey, kid. You okay?
I don't want to be the knight anymore.
Try being more the knight.
It hurts. I hate this one.
Is he stuck there, or should I lower a rope to him, or?
He's not stuck there. He's farther down now than you are, and it's a much gentler path at this point for the rest of the way down the cliffside compared to what you just were going through. So he should be able to make it the rest of the way. Okay, so
Now
you're on that ledge now.
Comes falling down the cliff at
So
me.
is there any features around here that I could maybe tie my rope off to? Which we probably should have done before we even started.
Rope this whole time.
Had a rope entire.
Hey, kid, hang on a second. I'm going to tie a rope. It might be easier.
You had a what?
Oh, you'll be heard.
Do a perception check. Oh my goodness.
Oh, he produces a rope off the fall.
Should have probably used a rope. 2 success, 1 advantage.
All right, you see a fairly large piece of stone jutting out of the wall side. You're able to wrap a rope around it. You could if you wanted to, fairly easily from your current position, and
Yeah,
easily bring yourself down. Okay.
He's going to hold on with 2 arms, and then he's going to tie off the rope with the other one.
All right, let's go ahead and just do a coordination check to see if you can lower yourself down. Not only just to lower yourself down, but to lower yourself down quietly, which is key right now.
3 advantage.
Great job.
3 advantage. Okay, so
There's no mercy in my voice.
he's still on his back down there. Just he sees the specialist go, maybe I should tie a rope. And you slap a rope up there, tie it on. It seems tight. You're watching all this from the flat of your back because you didn't get up.
Nope, just kind of watching, like, in amazement.
Wrapping around the rope with his waist, and he just kind of like starts lowering himself down. Though you do kick up a few rocks that are now tumbling down the side of the hillside. Does he notice? His perception was... And he's... You know what? Here's what we're going to do.
He still hasn't noticed, has he?
He has not noticed, and... I'm going to roll against... He is now intoxicated from the drink he's drinking.
Okay.
So he's now intoxicated, now sitting... Basically looking the same direction. He's just not caring as he slams back this weirdly blue drink that he has in front of him. And you do make your way down. Wow.
I'm still laying down, just kind of looking at him, like, just up, and just the grin on my, just the sheer anger.
All you see is
we
2
probably
boots.
should have used the rope in the first place. Would have been easier.
I'm gonna leave you on this planet.
And just for the record, like out of character and out for GMing a minute, I love the fact that you guys have a guy who can climb, has a climbing like armored set on, and he's the one just like sitting up on the hillside right now watching you guys do
I
this.
thought about
Don't you
that.
worry.
We
Don't
were
you
halfway
worry.
I
there.
thought about that. I thought about that too, and then I went, nah, how hard could it be?
Don't you worry
Oh, this
one
is so good.
bit. That is going to come in handy.
Man has a rope.
And just so you know, those guards have decent perception, okay? The dice. All right, so you've both made it down now. You are outside of cover at the moment, now that you've made it all the way down. And from your current perspective, you see one of these metallic cylinders that look like have been placed into the ground. They've got a small, almost like an LED light on the inside that's lightly glowing, and a control panel on the side. And you can see, as you look around, there's a number of them that run down the length of where the dune seas basically hit the border of this small outpost. Right here, from where you're standing now, you actually see there's like a half wall. Most of it's been just kind of destroyed, probably over time, but This is, yeah, about like 2-3 foot high wall right here.
On the other side of the pylon there?
On the other side of the pylon, indeed.
Okay, well, so Vic's going to, very quietly, he thinks, he's going to pull his hand scanner out of a pocket.
You give me the hand scanner, and I walk up to it.
Using his scanner goggles, he wants to examine the pylon and see. He can see it's powered, but he wants to see if there's any electromagnetic radiation he can see from it. If it's maybe a shock fence or got any kind of alarm.
Okay. So you go ahead and do a computers check. Because you're using a computer to read these readings. So go ahead and do that. That'll be intelligence if you don't have any computer skill.
No, he's got a computer. One level.
And you're looking for any type of energy
2
field.
Success, 2 advantage.
Okay. There's no field running, but like the first thing you check, because you're looking for some kind of invisible fencing, is what it sounds like. And the first thing you check to see is there an energy field that's running between the two, and you see that there's not. There is an energy reading, but it seems more like it's pulsating from the device. You do see when you're running your scans over, it does have some kind of power core. That's what's showing up on there, and the pulse is not so much running, radiating out from it, but radiating into the ground.
Hey, kid. Kid.
What?
Definitely powered, but it doesn't look like it's a fence.
What would you call it? A stick?
No, I mean, it's not like going from pylon to pylon. It's mostly radiating something down into the ground. I think we could maybe bypass it.
What do you mean, just walk through it?
No, just walk around it. Maybe over to that low fence.
Might as well. I'm gonna sit.
If I try
I'm
to
gonna sit up
disable
now.
it, I could set off an alarm.
I gotcha. So if you're saying it's not a fence, we should be able to just go right through it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right,
Best
might
guess
as well.
I can give you.
I'm just gonna head through it then. Head to.
You guys are sitting about 5 feet away from it, still at the edge of the cliffside.
But I believe I am the knight.
You gonna move up toward it?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't walk too close to it.
Oh no, I'm gonna go around the pylon itself, but towards the wall.
Okay, so you're gonna walk around this way.
Yes.
All right, so you find a section of the wall that isn't rubble, and you can actually use it as cover and hide behind. You walk through the fencing area, what you think might be a fencing area. These pylons in between them without any issues, it seems. The base seems to be the same it was 5 seconds ago, but now you're a little bit closer. On the other side, you see...
Energy readings on the pylon doesn't change as he walks through or anything?
Nope. Are you continuing to look at your scanner, I'm guessing?
Yeah, he's going to keep looking at it. Just
Set
make sure.
Cantios first to see what happens.
Yeah.
There's no change. You don't see any difference.
Okay. Vic's going to slowly move up, see if he can move up to the wall over here.
Okay, so you make your way up. You guys are both keeping crouched and keeping quiet. The suns are just starting to come up, so it's still relatively dark in this lower area. On the other side of the cover that you've used, you see some old crates and barrels, bits of refuse, where they seem to be storing who knows what. All the crates seem to be shut. But now you do see what looks like a small wheeled armored vehicle across from you, and I will give you an example of what you see to give you a clue. And this is what you see. There are a number of individuals taking crates out of the back of it and bringing smaller crates out of the cantina and putting them into it. So they're unloading it and loading it at the same time. You see a large cannon on the top that's mounted on a swivel. You see, it looks like a beefy vehicle, but it looks like a heavily modified vehicle.
Is there anybody manning the cannon right now?
There is not. There are 2 individuals, one on the left and the right-hand side from your guys' perspective right now, who are loading and unloading it. One of them's just kind of sitting there, like leaning against it, waiting for the job to be done.
Is he looking this way or is he looking this way?
He is looking out. He's looking out toward... Oops. Too much stuff in the way. There we go.
All right.
He's looking out this direction. This guy is actually grabbing things out of the back, loading and unloading stuff.
Okay.
So he's like half into the vehicle, like digging through it right now.
While this is happening, I'm gonna kind of like nudge Ranger. Do you see our target? Because I'm really getting into this whole like bounty hunter type thing.
I love it.
Real into it already.
Ranger sort of looks over to her and go, "There's many targets."
But the one we're here for. The Twi'lek.
No, I don't see any Twi'leks. Not yet. I think we should check in with Vic and Kenty or so. They've been a while, and I've seen some dust plumes, I think. Kenty, how's Vic? Come in.
Hey, Ranger.
Ah, did you guys make it down?
Yeah, we were like the night. Real quiet getting down. Nobody saw us.
Is this becoming some sort of saying? I've been hearing this a lot. Right, is the fence good?
Ranger.
Yeah, it's not actually a fence. It looks more like it's sending energy into the ground. I didn't want to mess with it in case I'd set something off. We were able to walk around it, and we're behind a low wall, and they got that modified vehicle with a gun mounted on it. There's 2 people by it, but nobody's actually in the vehicle with the gun right now.
Ah, that's got me thinking. Alright, I think we'll be on our way. And Ranger turns to Cree. Shall we?
Yes. But I don't know what we're doing.
We're going down.
Oh.
There should be some basilisk rope left there.
I tied a rope to help make it easier going down.
Are we going down where they went, or are we going down here?
How high is this cliff face in front of Ranger? How high is this?
The cliff face, from where you guys are at, it's not much higher than where they made their way down, but that one is much more sheer. It is almost a straight drop. You can kind of, if you were to go a little bit farther forward, you could look off and it'd be basically a sheer drop.
Alright, well, we shouldn't go down this sheer drop. I don't think we're ready for that. I haven't got enough gear on the armor for that. Let's go down the same way they do. And by the looks of it, I'd like to think Ranger swivels his gun towards the guy drinking. That guy's enjoying his drink. He's drunk.
You look through the scope, you just see him like practically drooling on himself now. He's dropped his glass onto the ground.
Alright, if you're ready, Cree, we'll go down the same route they did.
You actually added a glass.
Oh wow, yeah. Alright, let's go.
By the way, Vic has pulled out his goo gun as he's sitting there in cover, watching
Yeah, I've
the
also
guys by the
pulled out my rifle.
Okay.
I'll put
Or carbine.
my gun away while we do the climbing portion of this.
In the time it takes you guys to get over to this side of the wall before you start climbing, this guy has now gone inside. You see a number of these guys kind of just moving around, going about their business. All right, so you're going to make your run down. Now, as you get to the cliffside and you look over and you're looking for this rope, you see the rope, but oddly enough, it's already like down some. Like you've got to climb down to the rope as if somebody had tied it halfway down the hillside.
For whatever reason. They didn't use it in the first place.
So you're going to start lowering yourself down. Who's going first?
Well, I was going to use some of my gear that I've got, the carabiners, I've got the full kit.
You've got the full climber kit, yeah.
I was going to prefer a long, fully supported carabiner rope, going from the top of where we are all the way down to as far as I can with the rope I've got. I don't know how much rope I have, it doesn't say. Maybe on the second card it does, actually.
You have enough for what you're about to do.
Can
Yeah.
Vic see them at this point?
You can see their silhouette like at the very top of the hillside from your perspective.
I'd like
Okay.
to set it up like so it's able for like both of us to like have a fully supported climb down.
Hey, Ranger, you think you could lower her?
That's what I'm about to do. Just setting up the carabiners now. He's chinking together some carabiners, locking onto a rock near.
You're anchoring the rope basically.
Mhm.
Okay.
Trust me, Cree. You don't need to have faith to fall.
Let's see. Go ahead and do a... Be a good one for this one. You're looking for a place to anchor it right now, so go ahead and do a...
Oh, he's kind of doing a self-belay, isn't he?
Are you holding the rope, or are you anchoring it to a rock so you can use it in a second too?
I'll hold it for now to get Kree down.
Okay, so you grab onto the rope. He's got you all tied in. You're about to lower yourself down. Go ahead and do an athletics check.
For me?
For her. So you're gonna just hold it.
Yep.
Does she get a boost on that?
Yeah, boost
Go ahead and
for
take
the,
go ahead and take a boost for it because you've got the assistance. What's the boost on the gear you've got?
It's 2 blues, actually.
Take 2 blues. You're using his climbing gear basically to lower yourself down.
I got you, Kree. Just take it slowly. We'll be alright.
He doesn't have you, Kree.
I'm
Taste.
flipping a destiny point. If I flipped it, I'm upgrading this because, yeah.
You're
You
upgrading
have
your
one
roll.
die.
Okay.
I'm upgrading my roll.
So the destiny point is flipped.
Oh my
1
god.
success and 4 advantage.
Bye, Kree.
Okay, so
Bye.
Or I should say, we'll see you soon.
you grab onto the rope, and you hesitantly
Oh,
lean
wait,
back.
Wait. I'm also going to use brace. I'm going to brace myself. I'm going to remove a setback from
From
whatever you're doing back there.
this brace is for when the environment is changing around you, but you're more doing something to
Unstable
the
surfaces.
yeah. But you're not only like it's a rock side. There was no
Physical
setback.
obstacles?
There was no setback for
Oh, fine.
you're
You are the obstacle.
all right. So you lean back on the rope hesitantly, and start to get lowered down by Ranger and kind of sliding down the rope. And though as scary as it seems from the height, you managed to handle it without an issue.
Oh my god,
You-
she
you-
did it.
You pass by the rope that's already tied there for some reason, and you continue down to the ground.
Okay.
I surfed the sand and she just got a nice trip down.
You right down there, Kree?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
That was good. That was a little bit smoother than the kid, to be honest.
He just looked over. Don't you fucking dare.
Never mind. Sorry, kid.
All right. So since I'm sitting out in out of cover, I'm gonna kind of like scurry over to behind the wall next to the other guys.
Okay, just right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you scurry up behind the wall, you find a little bit of cover that you can hide behind, and you're the smallest of the group, so you'll be able to just...
She just sit down in cover.
I love your guys' plan here. So while this is all going on, you've got them coming
Plan.
out.
What plan?
There's a plan.
We
Plan.
have a plan.
My plan was to get here. I didn't plan further than this.
Hey, are you coming down, or are you gonna cover us from up there?
Oh no, I'm coming down.
All right, Ranger, what you doing?
You should probably wait
Alright,
for the next
I'll,
guard rotation, but alright.
I'd like to find a slot so I can anchor myself into a rock. So I have a fully supported way down.
Okay, go ahead and do a perception check to see if you can find something that'll hold your weight.
4 success.
All right, you easily find outdrutting of rock, and you slam the carabiner down. It's tight, it'll hold your weight, and you're ready to make your way down. Go ahead and do your coordination check. This is yeah, you're gonna make it down no problem. So go ahead and do the coordination check to see if you can keep your balance without alerting anyone. If you can do so quietly without knocking down a bunch of rocks, it'll get somebody's attention.
Connection lost.
Uh-oh. We've lost the TeamSpeak server. That's not good.
Connected. User entered your channel.
Hi, guys.
Oh,
Hi.
Lost TeamSpeak there for a second.
yeah, I lost.
Yeah.
You guys lose it
I'd
too?
say. Yeah,
User
lost
was
it as well.
moved to your channel.
There we go.
That was it just me?
No, everybody.
no,
It sounds
everybody.
like we lost everybody. Okay, so you're on your way down. Go ahead and
I
do
rolled 4
your.
success.
You got okay. Yeah, you just
That's
definitely
perception.
like pushing yourself off quietly, quickly. You're down in no time, and you make it down to the bottom. Do you want to go ahead and take cover,
my
or what are you doing?
rope.
I want to join cover next to
Grab my rope.
my rope.
He says no. He's
I'm
got
sorry
it.
if I left it behind. Just leave it there. We'll get it later.
Okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
burn that.
Okay,
rope.
so you're not gonna grab the rope. You go ahead and take cover. So you're all sitting there now. From your perspective, you see this vehicle that looks pretty nasty. It's 6-wheeled. You saw the image, and the second guard has now come back. He's now in the back of it, like reaching through, grabbing some stuff, digging through one of the bags. You see the canteen in front of you. Everybody do a perception check.
One success from Ranger.
You don't see anything.
Don't see any.
I got 5 success and an advantage.
Okay.
1 success, 2 advantage. Good lord.
What did Kree get out of curiosity?
3 success, 2 advantage.
Yeah.
All right, so Cantios, you poking your head out to get a look at what's going on. You see the same guards, but you actually can see some of the building, the large building in front of you directly across, has a hole in it, has cracks running through it. One of the windows is blown out. And you could see inside, and for a moment you see a handful of guards. There's quite a few people in there. A handful of swoop gangers with the blue paint on them in some way, or tattoos running down their arms, and you can see for just a second, you see your target walk by, a blue Twi'lek.
Ho ho ho! Let's see, they're enjoying themselves in that cantina. My target's there too.
Wait, Darren Sundar's there?
There's a decent amount of people in that cantina, including our Twi'lek friend.
Right, we know we're in the right spot now then.
Now,
Right, now what do we do about the sand transport? What do we do about
quite
that?
easy. We
What do
take
do
it.
Hmm.
I am the knight, good sir.
Think you can get around, take out one of those guards, and then we have to deal with the other one though.
One of them's gonna go, based on their patterns, one of them's gonna be emptying cargo from that thing, and as soon as he goes around into the cantina again, that's when we make our move. Or
You can
I
pull it
make
off?
my move. I believe so.
Alright, we'll wait one guard rotation then. Wait for him to go. You can move in to take out the last guard that's just standing there. Then we see what happens then.
So you guys are going to wait and watch the guard rotations a bit?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so the guy who's digging through the back, eventually, longer than you would like, but eventually, he starts to wander off and heads back inside the cantina.
And that's my cue.
Go, Cantios, go!
I'm going to move into short range of the guy who's looking this way.
Okay, so you are going to stealth your way
I don't know why the thingies
up
came
here. Yeah, I'm not sure why. So you want to stealth your way up, I'm guessing within engaged range of him?
up. Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna slide my knife out.
Which knife are you pulling out?
The Rat King's blade.
All right, so you pull out this wicked-looking dagger that, in closer inspection for anyone who would look at it, but no one sees you right now, is the tooth of a large animal, jagged and serrated. The guard, not paying much attention, kind of looking back, waiting for his companion to come back. Doesn't see you. You move into engaged range.
Alright, I'm going to take aim. And I'm going to slit his throat.
Okay.
In a horrible manner, yes, but I'm going to use both boost dice. I'm going to take aim perfectly around his throat. And,
So
let's see if I
basically,
can do it.
you're taking as much time as you want because you guys are not in the combat engagement yet. You take both of what would be considered 2 maneuvers, so you can take 2 boost dice in this because he does not see you at all. He is completely unawares because his roll was terrible. Go ahead and roll.
3 success, 2 advantage.
3 success. Okay, so you get 1 advantage on how you want to use it. What's your damage?
Damage is going to be...
No threat on this, by the way.
No threat on this at all.
I mean, not no threat. No failures.
Fail.
Alright. So... 5 damage?
5 damage total.
Yeah. Not much. I didn't crit. I was hoping for the crit.
With the successes included?
Yeah, it's 2 damage. The rest...
Isn't
it's
it
plus
2 to
brawn.
your brawn. Yeah, it's plus 2 to your brawn.
Plus your brawn, plus the
Oh,
successes.
okay. So it's 4,
That
5,
seems
6,
really
7
low for you.
damage. 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay. Gotcha. So,
I read that card wrong for a second.
with that, you sneak up behind him quietly. He has no idea what's going on until all of a sudden, his throat is opened by you, blood gushing out, but he is dead. Silently, quietly, he falls almost in your arms after the blaze passed by.
I close his eyes with my hand.
Oh.
Oh God.
So, what are you gonna do? You got the dead guy now.
I'm gonna take the body and I'm going to drag it around back.
You're gonna drag it around behind the tank.
Behind the transport, yep.
Okay. Go ahead and just, curiosity sake, go ahead and do a, just a straight athletics roll for me.
Fantastic.
What's your strength, anyways? What's your brawling?
It's 2.
Okay, yeah.
So I got 2 success and 1 advantage. But
Okay.
I also have -1 disadvantage on athletics.
On athletics checks. Okay, so you managed to pull the body around. You just gonna, like, leave him there? What are you doing with him?
I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to hop into the transport. Is it locked?
It's not locked. It's actually open aired, so I will go ahead. Interestingly enough, grab this for you. Here's the card for it.
I'm going to also tell my team, like, you know, it's done. Get over here.
I think we can see
Transport
that.
secure. Yeah, just in case, you know.
Now, what you see in
weren't
front of
watching.
you, where you've pulled this guy behind, so he's now leaning up against one of the wheels, I guess, on the other side. You put him on there. You see it is open, the vehicle itself, and what it doesn't say actually on this card is that anybody inside of it will get an immediate +1 to range defense. So it means it's harder to be hit while inside of it. Because there's just so much bits of metal that have been welded onto the sides. And on the top is a large forward-mounted auto blaster cannon. It is a quad-barrel blaster cannon for a vehicle. So this isn't a normal, like, human being-sized weapon. This is a vehicle-sized weapon. So you can climb into the... Where are you climbing into? So you've got a driver's seat, a passenger seat. You've got some space in the back for passengers to sit. And you've got a stand-up spot, which, by the way, anybody standing up in that does not get the defense bonus because they're standing up on top of the vehicle. But that is the gunner's seat for it.
Oh, I'm in the driver's seat.
Oh, you're jumping into the driver's seat. Okay, so...
I'm not the gunner yet. That's I imagine someone else who's done the gunning before.
All right, so you
Ranger.
climb up onto the vehicle slowly and jump into the driver's seat. And you notice that it's not running, but the command cylinder is still inside it.
Oh my god, it's perfect. I'm gonna get on the comm link. Ranger, they left the keys in the car.
Kentios, you surprise me every day.
Let's go, get in here, Ranger.
Right, hang on. Right. Big
One
Creed, you...
second. There's somebody coming.
I'm gonna
Heads
duck
down.
down
You
in
see
the car.
one of the guards now walking out, wondering why the cargo has stopped being unloaded. What's going on? He's kind of just looking around, doesn't see him.
Right, Kentios, you got one guy looking at you.
Or is he?
How drunk is he?
So, oh, no way. You all rolled so well.
He
He sees nothing. He's
the
gonna,
night.
he's going to start looking for him. So he wanders off to see what's going on.
Why do I feel that at some point, if we make a mercenary group, we're going to be called We Are the Night?
The Knights.
While
We are
Cantios
the knights.
is stealthing up and slitting people's throats and dragging bodies around,
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of poke Ranger and say, "So, what kind of proof do they need that we got the target?
He's dead. Or alive.
Dead or alive? But yeah, if he's dead, how do we prove that
We
His
take his
head.
head.
We take his head.
He didn't say dead or alive. He said
We
his
could take
head.
the whole
Oh.
thing, to be honest. We don't actually have to just take the head.
Okay, so he needs to be recognizable.
Yeah,
Don't
no
shoot
pun-
for the face.
No, don't ruin his face.
Okay.
All right, Ranger, you gonna hop in this gunner seat, or should I take all the fun?
Right, Vic, Creed, you guys want to wait here, and we'll see what we can do with this lovely
Yeah,
vehicle.
I'm gonna pull
I'll
out my
cover you
little
from over
blaster
there.
again.
Alright, take cover. Ranger's gonna maneuver himself over to the vehicle.
Okay.
Still keeping well low, well crouched.
So you make your way across without issue. Nobody's actually looking this way. One of the guards is on his way back, the one that's been looking for probably his lost companion, but you're not sure. You don't know what he's up to. You make your way across, though, low, crouched behind the vehicle. We're going to go ahead and take the dead guy, by the way, off the map. Just to...
Aww. I can't loot him?
You can loot him if you want to.
I'm going to loot him, see what he's got on him.
You're in the driver's seat. Do you want to get out of the driver's seat?
Dad, Captain, loot later. Loot later.
Okay.
Get in there, stay in there.
So Ranger, like, stops you from getting out of the vehicle and says, get back in there. Once he's run across, you've run across. I love that you guys were having this conversation about, like, how to prove that the bounty has been taken care of while he's over here slitting someone's throat and jumping into their ride, like, behind you. So.
Well, as an aspiring bounty hunter, I want to know how to do it right.
Good point, but I also didn't ruin the face.
You did good.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna go and Ranger's gonna jump ahead and get
I just gave him a smile on his lower bit.
Here to take the head, but that's the wrong head. We don't want that head. I don't think.
Little sister, this whole bounty business, this night business, it's kind of brutal.
I see a gleam off of her dark shades on her that cover her eyes. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
From where we are, can Blitz or Ranger take aim with this cannon that way?
Get in the cannon.
I'm just saying,
possible.
in my head.
So right now, let's see where you can aim with it, because it only has a forward firing arc. So basically, divide the firing arcs on this thing between forward, aft, port, and starboard, in that kind of like angle. So how far away did you want to shoot? Like how far did you want to turn the cannon? Exactly. The cannon's about right in the middle of it. You'd have to turn the vehicle, yeah. The best you could probably get away with is trying to shoot like at that target. That's the only one that's actually aimed at you. And
so
while
if we turn,
So while you guys are having these conversations,
Ranger, get in the gunner seat. Ranger, get in the gunner seat. Ranger, get in the gunner seat.
I was trying.
All right, so you climbed up into the gunner seat.
Yep, get right in that gunner seat.
I'm actually going to turn the transport.
Okay, so you're going to start turning the transport. So while they're beginning, so actually, you all just roll initiative now.
Dun, 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 dun,
You're moving the truck that it wasn't supposed to be
You
moving.
just fired up the engine.
Yep, you just started up the engine. You've begun to turn this thing. Ranger is literally jumping up and climbing into the gunner's seat. You guys see this happening, and while they're doing this, you, Vic, and you, Cree, see 4 individuals. One of them being the guy who you noticed walk away for a minute, then walk into the cantina, has now walked out with 3 more. What do you guys? You guys are doing your roll.
Yeah, initiative.
Yep.
We got more
2.2.
coming out of the cantina.
Good, more targets.
I don't think that thing can turn that far.
3.2.
I think this thing can turn just fine.
2.2.
Yeah, I also got 2.2. Look at us, Ranger.
Okay, Cree, what'd you get?
So,
3.2.
Jesus.
Okay.
I'm getting into this.
Cantios, what'd you get?
Getting good.
2.2.
Tiny Keldor Fury.
Vic, what'd you get? Tiny Keldor Fury. What'd you get?
2.1.
2.1. Ranger, what'd you get?
2.2.
2.2. Okay. We're trying a new way for me to keep track of initiative.
And
Yay.
right now, just to confirm, those guys are within close range.
You're using a vehicle weapon. Wait, no. But you
for Vic.
For Vic. Okay, so Vic, yeah, you're not right. You're not gunning right now. So who you're talking about? These guys?
Yeah.
13 is what I said close range would be. Short range, I mean.
I thought you said
Or it was
out
10.
to 10
It was out
That
to
was-
10. So they are not
10.
from your current position. 10's right here.
Medium.
So they would be at medium range. This is short range.
Why does it do that?
Everything is in range of that cannon on the back of the vehicle, by the way. Everything on this base, if they can see it, they can shoot at it. Okay. Just to give you an idea, that thing does 30 damage a hit, if it hits. on a human-sized target, I mean. Because there's a difference between
If
human
it
and vehicle.
hits.
Okay, so... arranging your guys' initiative.
I hear the notes of Sticky.
The sticky notes of doom.
All those
Is,
sticky note
is our
wrestling.
target in that group of 4 that walked out?
No.
Antios. Where did you say you saw our target?
In the cantina.
In
So
your cantina.
He's gonna hear stuff.
He's gonna hear stuff.
So one or two things is going to happen here. He's going to come out of the cantina, or this baby's going to go through the cantina.
God.
I mean, if we collapse the cantina on him, then, you know, we can just get his body
We don't
later.
have proof.
We can get the body later. We just do some digging.
So the first up is going to be Kree with that crazy roll.
I would suggest going to the guard tower and taking him out.
Now it's PC roll first, so you don't have to go first. You guys remember how the initiative works in this particular game. You guys can trade out. It's just a PC has to go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it up to one of the boys in the vehicle.
I'll be turning this. I'll be turning this
here.
vehicle.
Yeah, because I can't see these guys, can I, in the turret? I can't swivel the
Oh,
turret.
I gotta turn this baby around.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's going up first then? Cantios?
I'm Cantios.
All right, you're going to go ahead and turn it. So you're going to use maneuver to turn it around.
Yep.
Now this thing is relatively sluggish, but you do manage to whip it around. They hear the vehicle firing up, but they've heard this vehicle multiple times. It's their vehicle. It shouldn't be much of a problem. But they do kind of give it a sideways glance, and when they do, they see this six-wheeled vehicle with this giant-ass gun turret with a man that they've never seen in the back of it, sitting there, having just now climbed up into, getting behind it on the controls. This is a gunnery skill, by the way, when you go to use that Ranger.
Oh, he's prepared.
He's right now like firing up the weapon system on this thing. So you have now turned. You've used your maneuver. What do you want to do?
Well, since I can't, I'm actually going to use my incidental to pull out my blaster pistol because my rifle's on my back, and I'm gonna, since this thing doesn't have a glass covering in the front, I'm gonna shoot out the front of it.
Okay, yeah, that's totally legit. There is no canopy or anything. It's just metal like roll bars all over this thing. So you pull out your pistol. That's going to cost you another maneuver.
Incidental.
Oh,
It's on
because
my
you've got the custom holster, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you pull it out as an incidental. You're just gonna take.
Hiya, boys.
Who are you firing at?
I'm firing at the group of 4.
Fire to the group of 4. Okay, go ahead and.
I have to. Let's see.
Now, is that a minion group mechanically, or is that?
You don't know.
Okay, so we have to pick individual targets, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, always pick individual targets.
Okay.
Well, I got 1 success and 1 advantage, and I'm aiming at this guy.
1 success and 1 advantage. All right. How much damage did you do?
Oh, it would hit him.
Yeah, you hit him.
Oh, sweet. 7 damage.
7 damage. Okay, so you whip out this pistol, fire a couple of rounds off, and the first guy who just turned around to see this tank now aiming right down, right at him, takes a handful of rounds straight from the driver and immediately falls over dead.
Hiya, boys.
All right, there's your turn. Next up is one of the tunnel guard guys. So these guys are like, what is going on over there? They hear the ruckus of the vehicle coming online, and now they've heard gunshots go off from the driver. They turn around and immediately notice that the tank is moving, and they're not sure why. They've just seen one of their guys get blown away from it. So 2 of them are going to start running this direction. So we'll say from this, we'll just say generally they're able to get within short range, so 10. They weren't all there, so we'll put them right about here. They're making their way. While this guy turns around, he's going to use his maneuver to grab the weapon and pack it up, and that's going to go ahead and be... we're going to have to make that his action. So he's now got this thing in his hands. All right. Next up, next PC.
Blitz, you want to do the honors?
Alright. Ranger's got the cannons all warmed up.
I would suggest taking out the man who just packed up the cannon that could potentially do damage to it.
So no, how does this weapon work?
Not
Is
enough
that
time to
single...
discuss this in committee.
No,
Is it single target or is it AoE?
It is going to be single target.
Be single target, alright. Alright then.
What are the stats on an auto cannon on that?
I've just got it.
It's on the card.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a forward-mounted auto blaster, firing arc of forward, damage of 3 for vehicles, critical of 5, a range of close.
Close for a vehicle, though.
Close for a vehicle, indeed.
Which is extreme for anything else.
Which is, yeah.
Yeah, which is, in this particular case, that would be like medium range for us. Okay,
Alright,
so
then,
what are you going to do?
Ranger's warmed it up. He's seen the guy unpacking the sort of like a heavy turret on the back, and he is definitely going to take a double aimed shot. He's going to carefully aim this gunnery turret right at the guy unpacking his turret.
All right, now you are firing. Let's see what kind of angle you've got here. So you guys whipped around. You're going to be firing mid of the vehicles where I said the turret was on this. So you're going to be firing through a little bit of like debris. It's got to be a bit of a one setback to get through this, because you could see him, and there's a good chance you could put a round down that way. But there is some things blocking your shot, so there's a chance that you may hit the debris instead of your main target. So there will be a setback on that. Outside of that, may you take the shot?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's
Okay.
go for it. Double aim shot.
Double aim
Rolling
shot, so
down.
take 2 boost for it. Also
Yep.
take your strain for it.
Yep.
Because it's 2 maneuvers.
That is 2 success and 5 advantage.
All right. So the basically a vehicle weapon that you've now rotated into position, warmed up, aimed the best that you can, and fired isn't meant for this kind of like light, delicate work of trying to hit an infantryman. A silhouette of what is it? One I think for a human being. You got 3 failures and 1 threat.
Ow.
How many? What did you
Got
roll?
5 advantage and
That'd
2
be 4
success.
You got
4 advantage left.
Okay, so you have 4 advantage left, but these cannons whip out. 4 rounds fly off. 2 of them hit the wreckage pile right here and kind of almost, we'll shift it just a little bit. Like you've blown off a piece of it, opening up this alleyway so everybody can see a little bit better after the smoke clears a bit. The rounds do fly off and miss the targets, but you have a lot of
Since we've
advantage to
got,
spend.
Since we've got 4 advantage then, I'd like to absolutely... This guy's seen this round go off and he is shit scared of himself now. So very much frightened him, like he wasn't ready for like the turret to be activated.
Okay, so with the
And-
shots raining over their head, this entire group just ducks down as if thunder had clapped right above them. So they will all have disadvantage on their next shot. And how much was
I've
that
got
for
a
your...
mechanical question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. When you're ready.
No, go for it.
What exactly range is? What's the difference between engaged and short?
Engaged range is melee range, right? You've moved into engaged range, so you're ready to hit them with a sword or an axe. The reason that you have to, because you're probably asking because you have to move into engaged range from short. If you're in combat, if it's a hostile that you're moving into engaged range, it's the idea of moving into that melee range without opening yourself up to an immediate attack. So you have to take that extra few seconds to get into that range to be ready to fight somebody in melee combat. So,
Okay.
engaged range is like up in their face, where short is everything else.
Okay, I was actually specifically asking though because Ranger told me that when you throw a grenade, everybody around it can potentially get hit,
Indeed.
and he doesn't know.
So your
how
question.
big that radius is.
All right. So
It would be engaged range.
it would be for these guys. They've kind of poured out of this opening right here. They are very tightly packed together. They were within like comfortable conversation distance with each other. So I will say that all 3 of these guys are within engaged range of each other.
Okay.
For the
Right,
use
so-
of a grenade, I assume.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You know? Might be an appropriate thing to do.
And you would be up next, by the way. Or at least there's another
Okay.
NPC slot open for who wants to go next. PC, I mean. PC slot open.
If you've got a plan, go to it.
Yep. So Vic is going to. Sorry, hang on a second. He's going to pull the pin on Mr. Grenade. Actually, I'm sorry. He's going to take a maneuver because he is not within short range, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he is going to, using 2 hands, to vault himself over the wall into behind these crates, which will put him like 11 meters away.
Okay. Go ahead and do a coordination check real quick for vaulting over the wall with 2 hands. No bonus for 2 hands, by the way. You get enough bonuses for having 2 hands.
1 success, 1 advantage.
That's fairly easy thing to do. 1 success and 1 advantage. Okay, yeah. So you don't get any advantage out of it, but you do just hop over the wall without any issue, and you drop behind the cover.
Yep. And then with his, he's going to go ahead and take a moment to aim. He has pulled the pin, set the grenade for explode on impact, and he's going to huck the grenade at the street trough right here that dropped to the ground.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for a light ranged attack. At short range, that is 2... Actually, at short range, that is only 1 purple for the shot. I am going to give you, unless you have something to get rid of, I am going to put a setback down on the table for the dust that has now been kicked up by this large caliber weapon that was just fired.
He does have the his tech goggles.
Are they for... do they give you
Can they
any
be
way to see
infrared?
through dust, or is it just night vision?
Let's see.
Because I know there's like thermal goggles that you can get. There's a variety of different goggles that you can pick up. But if it's just
give me a
low
sec,
light, this
sorry.
isn't low light.
Paging through all this stuff.
No worries. It's a pretty important
Also-
roll.
At this
Well-
point, could we get some combat music?
We can get some combat music.
How
Not
far
like
am
I don't.
from
I don't mind the. I just kind of slit some guy's throat though, and it's like peaceful.
No,
Something a little
No,
bit more
no.
epic.
it's only for low light.
Okay, so you're still gonna take this setback on
I'm
it.
going to go ahead and flip a destiny point
To upgrade your throw or to downgrade the difficulty?
to upgrade the throw.
All right.
So instead of a yellow and a green, it's going to be 2 yellows
And a boost. You took aim.
and a boost.
Yep, you use your extra maneuver to take aim. So you got 2 failures and a threat.
3
3
success, 2 advantage.
3 success. Okay. Just exactly what you needed. So, you pull back. You've pulled the pin on your very first grenade. You give it a chuck. It sails through the air and lands right in the middle of the group who have now ducked down. So their heads are now all kind of looking down at the ground. And this grenade boop, 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 rolls into right into their vision.
And if they hadn't shit themselves, it
They should have
just
now.
It is a 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Now,
8 damage. What is the blast quality on grenades?
last 6.
Blast 6. So, if I remember right for grenades, it does 6 damage based on the blast for everybody in engaged range, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so
Good
these
job.
guys... 6.
Is blast is something you have to activate using the
No,
critical?
it's a quality. Maybe.
No, that's something you still have to activate,
quality, yeah.
because you activate qualities. So, did you not have the advantage to activate the quality?
No. Hang on a second.
What was your
let's-
advantages?
No, it's a special,
Was
not a special
2.
stun
That's-
setting. You have to activate that with just like, oh,
yeah,
I
the
want to do
special
this.
is the stun.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
So that's not something you activate with critical. You could just say, I'm doing this for like an AoE effect blast.
Yeah, I don't think that was a crit. Because it
Yeah.
crits with 4.
Yeah,
Like
that thing
I
critical.
don't have to crit to activate my Pierce or Vicious 2 on my Rat King's blade.
Let me see your
It just
pistol real
is there.
quick.
I think that's a
This and
function of the actual
Special.
grenade
Special
is that it
stun
has
setting.
blasts.
You know what? I think you're right. Yeah, because special
Yeah.
is stun setting, and you don't have to roll to activate a stun setting.
Yeah,
if
I
you
don't
guys are
have to
trying to
crit.
capture somebody. So
Exactly. I don't have to crit to activate that. So that just is the setting. Like
Okay.
special,
Okay.
it does that as well.
that works. Okay, so
it
damage. Who
says-
did you throw it at first?
I threw it at
Who's your primary
this
target?
guy.
You did that, and then the
Three.
damage, the straight damage is 8.
8.
All right, so he's dead. He's straight up just dead.
And
He
then
is
it
just
does
evaporated in the
6
blast.
damage.
And
And it does 6 damage to everybody that's engaged range.
okay, so it's gonna do Okay, and then the other two are blown backwards by the explosion, and you can see that they're like riddled with the fragmentation of the grenade, but they're both still standing, but they're looking really bad. There's blood gushing from multiple wounds and lacerations all over them. They're both still managed to lift themselves up and pick up their weapons from the concussion.
Okay, just so to clarify, I'm looking at blast here. So if the weapon has a blast effect, then if the attack is successful, the blast activates, and then each character engaged with the original target suffers wounds equals to the weapon's blast rating. If I'd missed, if I'd had enough advantage, I could get the blast to trigger anyway.
Okay, so it's saying that even if you missed the throw, if you have enough, you can activate it and do the blast rating. But you made the throw, so,
yep. So
everybody
hit
engaged.
The original target for 8, and then blasted for 6.
And it has to be everyone engaged with that guy. But both of these guys were engaged with him, so you did 6 damage to everybody in engaged range to him. Okay, so you notice that a lot of the shrapnel has actually embedded itself into the armor that these guys are wearing, and that's probably the only thing that saved their lives.
Okay. They're having a lovely day so
Am
far.
I from this guard tower here?
You are within short range of that guard tower right there.
Okay.
He has now stood up, wobbly, a bit wobbly. You know what? Actually, hang on 2 seconds.
What are you doing to this poor man?
He's really drunk.
He's just like,
He
what?
managed to stay on his feet, so he gets up, and he's wobbly, but he's standing up. He doesn't even have his weapon out at this point.
I would have loved it if he didn't notice this was going on.
Or if he fell out of the guard tower.
That's all I was rolling for. He just did a coordination check. So
He's an experienced drunk.
short range, from your perspective, you can actually see a makeshift ramp that's built from this perspective that goes up there. What do you want to do?
Is it my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay. The guard shack is within short range, so if I run up to it, would I get inside with one maneuver, or would I get to it with one maneuver and second maneuver up?
Let's see. You can go for... That is not the right one.
Oh, it is not. I couldn't find it either, that's why I was asking other people.
Yeah, it's F5 on the thing. It's the line tool. So you could get in there. You could close the gap for short. You'd have to use your second maneuver to go into engaged range. Because you're going from short to engaged. So it'd be 2 maneuvers to get, if you're trying to, like, I don't know, if you're trying to melee him or something. If that's not the case, you can get in there, yes.
I didn't know if I had to, like, use the second maneuver to climb up into it.
No, it's like a flat ramp. You'll be able to run right up it if you sprinted.
But that would be a maneuver?
That
2
would be
maneuvers?
1 maneuver to get
Okay.
up there on top of the tower.
I'm going to use my maneuver while, you know, the dust is still pluming up, so I've got a little bit of cover from anybody who might be, like, looking around. I'm going to run up into the guard shack, not into engaged range, but I want to be, you know, in there, and I want to shoot the guy.
Who's drunk?
You want to shoot the drunk guy. Okay. So
Should I try to talk to him?
Talk to him.
Hi!
You can do
Can
anything you want.
Shoot him!
You should probably leave now. Just
my
friendly
God.
warning, just go. As an incidental.
Go ahead and roll. This wouldn't work if he hadn't been. It's a coercion, I would assume. Either are you trying to charm him?
No, I've totally got my hood up. I've got my blaster out. I run in the wake of these explosions,
All right.
gunfire. I run up there, and I'm like, you need to go.
You need to go. This is coercion then? Go ahead and take 2 advantages. 1, because he is the worst guard ever and has been drinking on the job. And can't roll for shit. And 2, because of all your companions' assistance with gunfire going off in the background, explosions. He sees his buddies bleeding out there. And go ahead
2
and roll.
advantage or 2 boost?
2 boosts. 2 boosts. I say advantage, I mean boosts. I apologize. Watching too much Critical Role right now.
1, 2, 3 success. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 advantage.
Wow.
This guy looks at you, and he looks back at the pluming cloud of smoke in the background, and his buddies like pulling pieces of metal out of their chests as they're trying to ready their weapons. And he looks at this hooded figure who just ran up into his face, something that he thought nobody's
So I have
crazy
kind of this
enough.
mechanical voice because I've got my mask on.
You've got your mask on, so it's all muffled and
And
almost.
I'm trying to be tough.
And you're trying to be
Also,
tough.
tell him to drop all his stuff.
He drops his weapon, says, all right, you're right. And he takes off down the ramp and makes it as far as he can. He's going to use both his maneuvers to start running toward that cave entrance that you saw.
He did take the drink with him. He did take the drink.
And he grabs not the cup, because the cup is very much empty, but the last bit of the bottle that he had, and just takes off running. Okay. And he runs.
Yeah, that worked.
Was that my action?
No, I'm gonna call that an incidental. You've got about a minute. I'll call that an incidental, for hilarity's sake.
I kind of look up and go, I guess guard tower secured.
He's
Good
pissing
job.
himself running out the way.
What do I see in the guard shack?
In the guard shack, there's a crappy table, there's a
Quick look
chair,
around.
there's a couple of collapsed sandbags in there. There is now his long-ranged rifle that's laying on the ground where he dropped it. Never fired,
No
only
more
dropped
booze.
once. And there is no booze. He took the only bottle that was there. So that's what you see inside the shack. You
All
do
right.
now have a great view of the rest of the battlefield with no
Yeah, what
nothing
do I
blocking you.
see here?
Okay, you look that direction. You see a couple of individuals who are now like sprinting this direction, have kind of slowed their sprint and are trying to get an idea of what's going on and realizing that large transport is firing. So maybe sprinting this way was a poor life choice. You also see behind them a binary load lifting droid amongst some of the rubble. Let me get a line tool real quick and see exactly where. Yep, and then through some of the rubble, you do see what looks like the back end, way back here in the back. You see the back end of what looks like a swoop bike inside the broken down building in the back.
That's within short range, too.
And
All right.
and here you see, because you're up high now, you got a decent advantage.
Yeah.
You can see what looks like you've seen these before. These are slightly different in style, but they look like tanks of some kind.
Like tanks that could potentially hold fuel?
Fuel, maybe water. You don't know. They're just tanks of some kind.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna get over comms. I'm gonna say you've got 3 heading your way. To everybody else, and I am not in short range with anybody right now, am I?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. You're in 10 of him.
You're within
Them right here.
13 meters of all of them.
Oh, you are just in range of this guy. So
It's 10. We decided 10
Yeah,
is short range for this map.
indeed,
Well, I
well,
thought
10
you
is
said
the
that.
10 is the limit. She
10
is
is the
at
limit.
she is at 10, so she is at short
She
range.
can shoot this man right here.
Oh, or she could. I'm not gonna give her ideas. She fight her own bite.
Yeah, no grenades.
Why not?
Don't do it.
They are not within engaged range of each other, by the way. They purposely
So
spread
I'm
out.
gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna.
I mean, you can pick up the rifle.
I could, but I can't use it. I
I
mean,
mean,
I'd be real crap with it.
are you good with a blaster? And
I'm good with my blaster.
Hey, I'll be right there with you.
You know, no rush. Just
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
Just
Yeah, yeah.
not like men are running
all right,
around.
Fine.
people
I'm
are
gonna take a
bleeding.
shot at this guy here.
You can take a shot at that guy right there. He's got
Yeah.
just made his way around this junk speeder. Okay.
I just imagine she's sitting up there like, who to kill? Who
So-
to kill?
In reality, she has run up here, had this briefest of conversations where in her mask she says basically get out or die.
You should go now.
You should go now. Who, with everything that's going on, and in his drunken stupor, the guard has dropped his rifle and run out. You've now taken position up. If you take a quick scan around, you see the individuals making their way towards your friends. You see a droid in the background, and you're about to take a shot with that sweet pistol of yours.
Okay, so my
One failure,
sweet
one
pistol
threat.
gives me a -1 setback to combat checks and a boost to attack.
And wait, you get -1 setback?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Negative
so-
1 setback die, and she gets 1 boost die.
Okay, so I'll remove the setback for having the dust that's been kicked up from the shot that everybody else had to deal with. Take the shot.
2 success, 2 advantage.
All right, you had 1 failure and 1 threat. So, how much damage do you do?
Alright, so 5, 6 damage. Because we decided that the success counts as a point of damage, yeah?
Yes, we did.
Mhm.
There's my.
Okay, so 6 damage.
Does that count on grenades too, just out of curiosity? The extra success being extra
Oh, that's
damage?
already happened, but
Just
Yes,
out of-
it does.
For next time. Oh, so that should
But
have
not
been
on
8
blast damage. The
But
blast
it should
damage
be
is second,
primary.
but the primary, yes.
It should have been 10, okay.
So it should have been 10. But
Well,
he
he's dead-
can't
he's
be
dead
any
anyway.
more dead than he already
He's
is.
definitely dead. Okay.
All right, so how much
Okay.
damage did you do?
phased from
I did
existence.
6.
You did 6 damage. Okay, so you see a few rounds. You fire off a few rounds with that custom gripped pistol of yours that Vic gave you. The rounds blast out, 2 of which miss, but 1 managed to hit him straight in the chest as he made his way around the corner. This shocked look on his face as he has no idea where the rounds came from. Just he looks back toward the tower, his own tower. He seems to be doing okay though. He doesn't seem to be too phased by it. He just kind of grits and takes it.
And by shouting out that we've got more people incoming and kind of like where they're coming from, I'm going to give advantage to the next players.
Turn.
Okay,
Gotcha.
so that you've given them a little bit more detail on where they're coming from.
I love how much we've scared the crap out of these guys.
It's good rolls.
Like
for the crap
literally
on
a
your
couple of
side.
times.
Oh yeah.
Literally, like, we're coming in with their own tank from behind, shooting at them from their own tower.
Oh, man. All right. So that puts us at their turn. The remaining 2 individuals here are going to first run for cover.
Yeah, that'd be a
One of
thing.
them is going to dive over the crates over here and try to like squeeze himself behind the wall, trying to just get out of the arc, while the other one runs across to the other side. Wow, he just doesn't. He's going to actually fall back because he just saw rounds come out of this tower. He's really scared of this vehicle, so he's going to fall back. They are going to take a shot.
They do suffer a disadvantage because they're scared shitless.
They are scared shitless. Okay,
Who are they taking a shot at is the question.
that is the question.
The tank?
I've got
Remind me of the
half cover.
how cover works for this.
Okay, so if you've got cover,
The only one that doesn't, I don't think, has that cover.
if you have cover for the vehicle or just cover in general.
Cover in general. I
It
think.
adds a defense point. So if you had armor, they gave you defense, meaning it's harder for them to hit you. They get a setback on their roll to attack.
Okay.
So they're going to take a shot at, let's see, Blitz. They're going to take a shot at Blitz. That gunner is the biggest threat here. They've seen the rounds that shocked the crap out of them. So their shot is going to be at short range. Now, you shot over their heads and scared the crap out of them, and that gave them a setback, correct?
Yep.
Yes, correct. And if they're shooting at me, they gain. I've got 1 range defense, so they.
Because of the armor that you've got.
Yep.
Correct. Okay, cool. So that's going to be the roll then. One of them is shooting through. Okay, so here we go. They're both taking aim and shooting at poor Blitz in the gunner's seat there, and they.
I can't believe they hit.
They're going to hit you for 7 damage. So they fire off a few rounds from their 2 positions, both realizing that you were the primary threat. The rounds go out, and they. How much damage do they do to you, actually? Do they even get
Is
three
it
or-
7 each or
7 flat.
just 2 damage?
They do 2 damage. Okay, so
Oh,
you just
yeah.
kind of shrug off. Like, the rounds hit you, but they hit your armor, and out of the group, you have the nicest armor, so it just kind of gets absorbed into the armored chest piece that you're wearing. One kind of goes into your shoulder pad, the other one goes into where your rib is. The one that hits you in the rib, though, you can feel that's going to really hurt tomorrow. It doesn't quite break it, but it strains it pretty hard. Okay, so that's going to be their turn. Now, with all of the fire going on, the second tower on the far side is looking that direction. Let's see, how far away is he actually? Right.
Is it like extreme range, right?
Yeah, he's at extreme range.
Yeah.
He's not. He's at extreme range, and though he might be able to see the vehicle from this distance, if he could see over these buildings, which he just can in this instance from where you guys are at. If you moved even slightly forward, you would be out of his line of sight. He could not fire that far away. So he does, though, drop onto his comlink, and he's going to just hunker down and cover looking this direction.
And we can't see that guard tower, correct?
Let's see. Kree
I
can.
Kree can, alright, so the tank can, though.
The tank, like Blitz himself can see it because he's up a little bit higher than the turret itself. The turret's kind of like below him and he's grabbing on with both hands as he looks over the field of people coming towards him. But he couldn't, it'd be a real hard shot for him to attempt to make.
Yeah, gotcha.
He'd have to hit the actual guy, not so much the tower.
Oh, what if he hit the tower, though?
If he could get into a shot where he could shoot the tower, sure.
I see.
Okay, so that's going to be his turn. And that puts us at All right, that's going to be the end of their turn. So we're going back up from the top.
PC number 1.
PC number 1, who's going to take the first turn?
I could if you want, Blitz, but it's up to you.
I don't give it a first shot. Then maybe
Is this one of the guys that got hit and he
Yeah,
ran over
yeah.
here?
I'm thinking about just like looking out, and kind of shooting.
These two are right here, yeah. They split up
Yeah.
and try to find some cover. Just try to get out of the angle of that thing's fire as best they can.
So I'm just gonna look out.
That one there.
I'm gonna look out my passenger side window, take aim, and I'm gonna shoot that guy.
Okay. All right. So he's taking cover, but he's taking cover from the main cannon. So he actually doesn't have cover from you. You're actually looking out the passenger window as you were aiming straight forward. Now you've just turned to the right and put your gun out for one side while you're driving with your left hand. All right. Let's go ahead and make the roll. He is.
I've rolled 2 success and 4 advantage.
Okay, well, he got 1 failure, so... How much damage do you do?
I crit, actually.
Oh, you crit! Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to spend it on a crit? I assume you are.
I mean, yeah, just end him. He's gone now.
Alright, in just a swift movement, you take your shot from the first guy that you took a pop shot at to right over to the right. 1 round goes right through his forehead as he's trying to jump over these crates to get into a better cover position. His body slams against the cantina wall. You can actually see some of the sand and brick break open a little bit, and now you can actually see a little bit into the cantina, and he is now dead.
Okay, then.
Nice
I am
shot.
going to leave it there, just flip him over.
Okay, just so we can see the dead man's walking.
Yeah, so he's dead. Okay,
Okay. Next PC, or no, NPC.
you have 2 maneuvers.
Oh, I do. I guess I
You
can.
didn't aim or anything, you just shot him.
Let's see.
He used 1 to aim.
I aim 1. Yeah, I used 1 to aim.
Okay.
So I have a maneuver. Let's see. Should I even move us up? We're in a pretty good position.
I think you leave us where we are because we're at a good distance.
Yeah, I'm just thinking to myself. I'm gonna be like, nah, we're fine.
To your right now, kind of wherever you've rotated in position, you've knocked over a couple of small crates, and over here, these blue boxes are actually just a collection of like old wooden crates and boxes that's probably been used to transport food at some time, maybe old fruit and whatnot. So it's nothing too crazy on this side of it. This is the wall, though. There's a bit of a hole there now, and you can kind of see inside. And what you see inside...
Actually...
Let me go ahead and do this for you guys so you're aware. What you see inside, and we'll use this for now, is a handful of individuals making their way toward the door.
You know what I'm actually gonna do? I am going to shift us that way.
Okay. So
now he has a more arcing line of sight.
you can now see the load lifter over there, the bit of the rubble, and you can see I'll just say, for the case of this building here, this broken building, you've shifted over to the section where the roof is kind of caved in on portions, and you have a much better line of sight now, and you see the other tower. You do, Blitz. You, Cantios, don't see it at all.
Yeah, no, I was more shifting because in my mind they're going to be coming out of the cantina.
You did.
And Blitz is looking at that shot. Yeah, that
He's
fire
doing
as
that.
well.
Okay, is that all you're gonna do?
Yeah, that's all I believe I can do.
Okay, so it is the tunnel guard's turn. So the guys who are moving up, he has now packed up the weapon, and he is going to. Oh, I have to unlock it so I can move it. He's going to run with it as quickly as he can. Let's see. He's running from here, so short range would be 10. Wow, you guys really...
But he's encumbered now, right? Does that affect how far he can run? Or?
It's not going to affect how far he can run, no. If he tries to do anything while he's encumbered other than just running with it, it's going to cause an issue. But he can run... He'll put it right. Yeah, that's what he does. So he's gonna lug this thing over his shoulder. The weapon's got a tripod on it. And he's actually going to use what's left of this vehicle to aim. Whoops.
And he's
flip it over.
He's knocked it over.
He's knocked it over. All right. So he's going to start setting it up. So he's going to use his one maneuver to move. He's going to take stress to start deploying the thing, but he's not going to be able to fire it until the next turn. So. All right, so that's going to be his turn. While his two companions, who have run forward, have now been shot in the side. They're gonna have to find some cover. Can they run? They totally can. They're gonna run behind this and try to get at least some semblance of cover. While this one's gonna run over behind here, and they are going to. These two are going to take a shot at the... Blitz is still the only obvious target. We're going to take a shot at Kree. Kree is actually up on the tower now. They just took a shot from Kree. They saw some rounds coming from their guard tower. They realized that's not one of theirs. One of their people have already been wounded, and they're going to take a shot at you. You do have a bonus to cover there. Do you have any defense right now? Any type of armor or anything?
Not right now.
Okay, you're going to roll. We're on a new round, though, so that dust from the first shot has settled. Keep that in mind when you're making your shots, which I just won't add it to it, so it's fine. Oh, wow. Okay, so the two of them lay down. You can see that they've got... One of them has like a light carbine of some kind, and the other one has just a heavy pistol. They both fire in your direction, and they do hit you square in the chest. You're leading over just a little bit too far, and on like the just underneath the shoulder, you take a hard hit. Most of the rounds miss, but this one nails you. Go ahead and roll a D100.
I'm gonna crit you.
All right.
Uh-oh.
That's what, 2d10.
Roll a D. Yeah. Roll a.
All right.
You've got it. You've got the dice on you. And then read it left from right.
Oh.
88.
88. Okay. So you get +1 difficulty to you're compromised at the moment. +1 difficulty till the end of the encounter.
Back, or
Difficulty. Everything you do will add 1 extra, at least purple. And if you don't have any purples, it will. If you have already purples, we'll upgrade one of those to a random. So +2 difficulty for every roll.
to every roll.
And keep in mind, you have a 10 now to your crit. You take another crit, that's another 10 on top of that. Whatever you roll. Getting you
All right,
scarily closer to
so-
death.
So what kind of wounds does that do?
All right.
Does that do wounds?
Yeah, you're
That's
gonna
gotta.
take some damage for sure. So they hit you for 6. They hit you for 7 damage. Ouch.
Ow.
You're actually hit so hard that it throws you back a bit, and you have to crawl yourself back up to the cover position so you can see what's going on, and you can definitely feel there's a bit of blood pooling now underneath those heavy robes of yours.
Kentios just kind of feels over his scar as like, uh-oh, I feel something also got hit in the chest.
Another vicious chest wound.
Roll a perception check.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Will do.
And roll a force die along with it.
I got 4 success, 3 advantage, and 1 dark side.
Tabby, roll a force die for me.
Two light side.
2 light side. Okay. So, with the exchange of fire, you Cantios, from your position, you don't see if she's been hit. You just see that there's a couple of blaster bolts that have flown in that general direction toward the tower. But you do feel the sudden sense of abstract panic and then a feeling of a calm discipline take over. And it's radiating from that direction.
That's
I'm
not good.
self-soothing right now. I can do this. I'm okay.
All right. So who's up? That was them firing. And so who's up for the next PC?
Vic. Unless Cree, if you want to do.
Not much I can do. Go for it.
Okay. So Vic sees her get shot from his angle. He didn't see who shot her, but he sees her get shot and drop down behind the sandbags. No, little sister! And he's going to sprint to the guard shack.
Okay. So you're going to sprint
One
over.
movement.
You can go 10.
Yep.
You can get just inside, so you can get into the cover. So you run up the ramp. I'm going to make you a little bit smaller so you actually fit inside.
Note to
You
audience,
okay?
Vic is not that small.
Are you okay?
I just kind of gasp and hold my chest.
Okay. And he's going to, as a second movement, he's going to grab a stim pack out of his pocket and jab it into her shoulder.
Okay, so you're using the maneuver to pull out the stem pack, and then you're going to use your action to heal her.
Does that take an action to do?
Yeah, I think that's an action to heal. Is an action, Tabby?
What?
To heal with a stem pack? I think it is, right? I know we talked about this before. I don't have it on my cheat sheet right now. I'm pretty sure it's action.
So.
Yeah, it's an action. You've got to use
Because pulling it out had to have been a maneuver.
Right, and he used a second maneuver to do it, and then it was the action. So yes, you're gonna have to use your action to heal.
Okay, and he does.
So, actually, I have a. There you go. So go ahead and take your 5 healing, and remember that the next impact that you have to take is going to only do 4, and that's just a progressive thing until the end of 24-hour period where you can rest. So you feel the wounds start to close,
Better.
and the bleeding slows. All right, next player.
Well, I think it's time for Ranger to get this gun up and ready. Our core question for this: what is, if I did want to take a shot at the guy setting up his turret, I'll be going over the rubble and sort of through this speeder.
Yeah, so
Or
he's
blowing
got
up the
cover,
speeder, maybe.
basically. So the speeder's going to act as just cover for him, and there will be a setback for just trying to shoot him through the rubble that's just like sorted pieces of bent metal and trash that they've thrown into a pile in town.
I've got no clear shot then, so I won't bother with that. I'm gonna go and take a shot at the guys that shot at the guard tower.
Okay. You're going to take a shot at these
I'm
guys.
gonna go and take an double aimed shot.
Good plan.
Take 2
This is-
straight.
By the way, this is the joy of shooting at human-sized targets with a vehicle weapon. It is difficult to do, but if you hit, it's like 30 damage with this weapon. So, all right. So,
Alright.
you're taking a shot at that fella right there.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll.
Yep, made a roll.
We did.
It's 1 failure, 1 threat, because I can't roll for nothing.
I got
He
2
succeeded.
success,
But he
2
hit me.
success, and
4
it
advantage.
was 4 advantage. Yep.
How can you roll this many dice and get nothing but blanks? Anyways, so you take a shot at this guy. That heavy cannon, once again, everyone here hears it. 4 rounds blast out. and the man ceases to exist from the knees up.
Ooh.
The rounds also collide with the building behind it, blowing out a section of the wall. Rubble spews out from that, putting everything in this section here. I can finally use this thing. Everything in this section here in a cloud of rubble and debris.
Yes.
The pencil. No.
And
Solomon.
did I get any threat in that roll?
You got 1 threat.
So I've got
So
3
3
advantage spend. So I would like to use that 3 advantage. Now that won't work, so it's not going to reach. I'm going to use 3 advantage, so I'm just checking what I can use 3 advantage for. I think I'm definitely going to give it to the next PC as an encouragement. Like, finally got this big weapon working. There's hope for this battle yet. It's not over.
So how are you? Who's up next? Is that you're the last person to go, right?
Kree's the only one who hadn't gone.
Okay, tell me exactly
not
who
gone.
you're giving a boost. Is it Kree? And tell me how you're doing it.
So
Or would it
remember,
be-
the Kree's laying there on the side, been shot, but she hears this gun sound out at an automatic counter to someone shooting her. So in her head, that's oh, that must be Ranger returning fire, and that's her kind of boost. So Ranger's fighting back. Ranger's just shot the gun, so that's definitely, hopefully, one guy down.
Okay. So you hear the blasts go out, and you're like,
Okay,
we can
and
do this.
I'm encouraged. It's like, all right, my friends are still fighting. The guard tower here, is it high enough to see over this junk speeder here? Can I like see the guy setting up?
You can see over it, but not in the sense that you can see him. The junk speeder and the wreckage below it, it's kind of propped up, so it is completely blocking your perspective of him.
But you could throw a
Okay.
grenade over the speeder, could you not?
It is within short range of me though, yeah? If I'm in that corner of the...
Let's see. We can measure it out. 10 blocks. So,
Wait,
Oh, no.
let's just disconnect.
Blitz, you there?
Let's-
Stream P2P session back.
Channel user entered your
He-
channel.
Yep, there he is. So,
Nope.
10 blocks. Let's see. You wouldn't have seen him move into that position, so you wouldn't know he's there unless did anybody call out that he was moving up during their turn? I don't think anybody did.
Vic
So
didn't
I don't
actually
think
see
so.
him.
So
Vic didn't see him.
you
Can I
can't
see
see that heavy gun
this?
there. You can see him, yeah.
can I
you're
like
s-
see over this rubble here?
Yeah, you're high enough that you can see into that rubble. You can see this guy standing behind the speeder. You still this guy. By the way, this guy, he's like long gone.
Yeah,
all right, he is
running.
just running. He's been doing double movements until he literally
Mhm.
collapses. So
Okay, so I'm back up. I've got my pistol. I'm gonna take aim at this guy here closest to me.
okay, so the guy trying to hunker down in the scraps of metal and rock, and that's definitely within your range. So that dust has settled now, so there's no setback for that. He is in cover though.
Okay.
Okay,
Um,
are you taking just a pistol shot?
I'm gonna aim and I'm gonna take a shot.
All right, go for your shot. 1 threat, by the way.
Oh,
And blank dice for days.
I almost had blank dice for days as well. 2 success, 2 advantage.
Now, you also got an advantage, a boost on that. Did you take the
Yeah, you
boost
got a
back?
boost from me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you did take
that
the...
would have
no.
been an extra boost on top of that
Yeah,
because
so
Roll
this
your
one.
extra
the
boost.
pistol. All right.
Yep, they
Blank.
stack up
Okay.
pretty
Blank.
quickly. If you guys were really stacking boosts, like getting one person in a really good position, you could do a lot. At least
and
that-
that's why they always roll blank.
That's all I always roll blanks.
Yep. happens.
So, what did I have on that roll?
2
was I rolling
success,
against?
one
you
failure.
rolled one threat. You rolled one
One
threat.
threat.
One
I'll
threat?
answer the
Okay,
rolls
so-
for the GM. Thank you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just.
I do
it's-
7 damage, and I've got 1 advantage. Just
You do 7 damage to that guy.
yeah.
All right. So
And
Oh,
he
that's
was
the guy
already
that got
wounded?
damaged before.
Yeah, he
wasn't
was
Yeah,
already
that guy.
wounded. He was one of the last guys with the grenade shrapnel in him. So, all right. So, with that, you pop up, get it a quick aim with your pistol, a couple of rounds out, and you do manage to one shot throws him out of the cover, and he kind of like stumbles back into the open. Boom, boom, 2 more shots, and he collapses from his wounds.
Okay, so with my advantage, I can see this junk speeder here. Can I see any way to collapse it? Can I spot anything that could be of value to us in this ongoing conflict?
From
On this junk speeder. Is
this
it
junk speeder here.
precariously
Okay.
situated?
How many advantages did you have? You're using it to find an advantage.
One.
You had 1 advantage. Roll. We'll roll a perception check. Because I think, what is it? Is
Okay.
it... Let me see. Find an advantage. Garden stance, interact with environment preparation. You can spend it to...
Yeah, notice something
Notice a
important.
single
Something important.
point.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanna see
A
if
weak point.
if that junk speeder is like precariously situated, or if
Yeah.
it can be
Okay.
possibly knocked over.
That's a pretty big thing. So go ahead. You can try to... You look. So you glance over using this extra advantage to give you the possibility of doing this. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Oh,
4
wow.
success, 2 advantage.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, wow. So, 3 threats and a failure. So, you look over, and this wreckage pile is fairly precariously stacked up. It's old crates, boxes, and then somebody decided to dump this like half of a speeder wreck on top of it. With the proper application of maybe not a blaster shot, maybe something a little bit more powerful, it could potentially all come crumbling down if you were to hit what looks like a metal arm that's actually propping this thing up.
All right, on comms, I'm gonna say that speeder over there. It looks pretty precarious. Perhaps the proper application of some force could
Just
knock it
tell us
over.
where to shoot it.
There's a metal arm thingy. Looks like you might be able to knock it over.
I mean, we might
Right.
vaporize it.
So there you go.
And that's everybody's turn?
I think that's everybody's turn. Okay, so next up is they're dead. Okay.
oh, those guys are dead.
Like, those guys are dead. Those aren't gonna help me at all. All right. So with
Sticky notes.
that, the individuals. They're gonna do this smart too, because they've heard the gunfire. They know what's up. Two of them are going to sprint out as fast as they can and try to run this way. One of them is going to go into the crack into the wall that you guys have put in using the body of one of their companions to peek out through. And these two are going to take defensive position in the inside. They're the smart ones of the group. With that, they're going to... The two here are going to take a shot. They're going to take a shot at... they've actually got a pretty good shot at Ranger, who is still sitting
there
in this
two here, or
open-topped
just
vehicle.
one?
It's just one here, and then there's one here looking through a
Peeking
crack
through it.
in the wall
Okay.
that you guys have actually managed to widen with this guy's corpse. So, they're going to take a shot at Ranger, who
I've
is...
got 1 range defense.
Yep.
So
So 1 range defense. The shot is at short range with short-ranged weapons. So, is there anything else that would... no, shouldn't be. So there's their difficulty roll, and then here is their skill roll. It should be... There we go. All right.
I hate the silence after a roll. Creepy.
So, they've got some basic blaster pistols. They've taken aim now, and they're going to take a shot at you. Actually, they didn't take aim because they're not doing that. They're just running into cover and they're firing. And they're going to do 7 damage to you. They're going to do 7 damage to you. And they are also going to use their 2 advantage. They're going to use their 2 advantage to... they could get a free maneuver. Not really necessary here. To use their comms to radio in the fact that there are 2 of you set up on top of this tower up here, and that they need assistance. So tower number 1. So they go out on the comms, and you guys can't really hear it, but one of them's yelling to their comms right now that, hey, we have intruders on tower 1. We've got multiple men down. We need backup now. And that's going to be their turn. You get your damage wrote down?
Oh yeah, damage is done.
All right, cool. So that's you guys. Storage. So from that, you start to see a door open up near, not the rest of you in the tank right now, but the guys up in the tower. You actually see a door open up, and you can see a number of individuals now. One of them like still trying to throw on his boot. The other one is currently like pulling his rifle off of a wall, and the door is open, and you see him starting to rush out the door. This one individual here is like waving them out, telling them to come out, and as the door opens, let's see, Vic, you notice that there are a number of individuals inside there, all running toward that main door to come out.
What is that particular number of individuals?
It's just a field of movement, but you know that there's more people in there. Right now, all you can see clearly is 2, the ones that have made it out of the building thus far.
Okay, Vic is going to take a... can he do a perception check to see if he identifies... Because he's now able to see these cylinders by the side of the building. You think he can identify maybe if there's any markings that are familiar? Or...
Well, we're back up to the top of the round, so we're at the first PC. So if you want to try that on your turn, now's the chance if you're going to go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to do... We'll just say for this instance, it's going to be one of your maneuvers to take a chance to do it. Because you're going to sit there for a minute, right? And you're trying to identify what these tanks are with all these like blaster shots going back and forth to do the check.
I'm just trying to find the skill. Hang on a second. And would that be a perception, or would that be like mechanic, or probably perception?
It'd be perception because of how far away you are. If you could just get up closer to it, it would be a mechanics check just to identify what it is. Right now, you're just trying to see if there's a label, because you know it's a cylinder of some kind, a canister of some kind. You have no idea what is in it.
1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, hang on 2 seconds. 1 success and 1 advantage. 4 threat.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you pull yourself up to get a better look with these blaster rounds. It's probably not the smartest idea, so whoever takes a shot at you in the next one is going to have a bonus to shot, because it's gotten rid of your cover. You've stood up now to take a look at this thing. But what you do see...
Really?
That's a lot of threat you rolled.
Okay.
So you've stood up and you're like squinting and looking for it. And you're like, those are fuel containers. Probably for their swoop bikes.
Okay, so with his next movement, Vic's gonna scoop up that rifle that the other guy dropped.
All
Because
right.
he doesn't have a long enough ranged weapon.
Give me 1 second. There it is. So, here is the rifle that he dropped. It is the rifle version, by the way.
Of
the carbine.
blaster carbine.
Yeah, it's a blaster rifle or a blaster carbine. This is the blaster rifle, not the carbine. So the range is long on it.
Okay.
So you scoop that up. It's a little worse for wear. It's got 1 point of damage to it already. But it's still
From
usable.
the drop.
You don't know. Maybe it's just because
No,
it's
probably
older.
not well maintained.
Yeah, that's what you get the sense of just by looking at it. With your mechanic skills, you don't even have to do a roll. You're just like, wow, somebody sucks.
Okay.
All right. So you've now got that weapon.
And then,
maneuver?
I know normally he only has 2 movements. Can he take 2 strain to aim?
You can't. You've already used your 2 maneuvers. Maneuver to
Is
grab
that
the
like
weapon.
Actually, technically a maneuver.
Turn. You can only do 2 maneuvers with each turn.
And so the maneuver that that you did was you were able to like glance up and stand up to take a look at what those containers are, instead of them being that an action, because I figured that would be just something that you could do relatively quickly. But still, there has to be some kind of threat there, and you just burned 4 threats. So, yeah. So there you go. You can't aim for it. No.
Okay. So he's just gonna snap it up to his shoulder, and without even really looking, he's just gonna aim it right at the cylinders, and he's gonna take a shot.
Okay, let's check the range on that real quick. So you're just gonna take a shot at the nearest barrel.
A little over medium range.
A little over medium range. Okay. Oh yeah, it is. It is 20, 23. So it is. So short range was 10. Medium range was anything from 10 to 20. So it is at 23. So you're shooting at long range.
With a long-range weapon.
With a long-range weapon, so that allows you to even attempt it. The long-range shot is going to be 3 purples, and I'm trying to think. We're on a.
I'm gonna go. He's gonna flip a force die and upgrade that. So is that an upgrade or a boost?
No. So it's an upgrade to your roll. So or you can downgrade the difficulty of it. Right now it is it's 3 purples and. We are at the top of a new round, so we'll go ahead and say that dust has settled. So you won't have the setback on it.
He's gonna upgrade.
He's gonna upgrade the roll. Okay.
Yep. Ooh, 1 success, 2 advantage.
1 success and 2 advantage. Oh, man. All right. So you get 1 advantage out of it, but you fire off the rounds trying to hit very small targets at an extreme range, and the rounds just bink, bink on the floor around the targets. One goes into the wall above. You're just not used to this weapon yet.
Actually, his first attempt, so what happened was he snapped up the weapon, he pulled it to his shoulder, he went to aimed and pulled the trigger and realized he had left the safety on and goes, oh shit, and fumbles and knocks the safety off and then goes, oh, it must be the safety, and then tries to pull trigger again, but he's jerked the weapon around too much and it fires off into the ground around it.
I like it. All right, that would be the first PC's turn. Who's up next? Oh, no, actually, it's Tunnel Guard's turn.
He realizes, oh shit, I'm like standing up in the open.
Oh, crap. All right, so these guys have now set up their shot. They are going to be shooting through. This is the heavy cannon, by the way. So he's going to take... Yeah, he's going to take a shot at trying to hit... Not the speeder, but the gunner on top of it. But he's going to have to shoot through the garbage pile that's right there. So he's definitely going to be taking the setback for that.
Would you have to shoot for the junk speeder as well?
Well, he has a choice to shoot for a particular target, or with this, because you are a target by yourself, and then there's the speeder itself. He could shoot at the speeder, and he'd probably hit it, but he realizes that...
No, he's shooting through the junk speeder and through the cover.
Yeah, so he's going to try to shoot for both. So he's going to whip the round. He's going to take aim. You don't know. He's going to change his mind. So he's going to start aiming for you, and he's realized that I'm never going to hit that, and he aims slightly lower and tries to hit the vehicle in general. So this is going to be his gunner skill, which is okay. Versus the setback plus the difficulty of the shot. Ooh. All right.
Now he's not shooting at me, right? Just the
no. He's shooting at the speeder itself. So.
Not the silences after the rolls. It's the little exclamations like, ooh, oh, all right.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh my. So he fires off a few rounds. He does manage to hit the speeder. You get 3 rounds that bury themselves into the speeder. And that speeder is going to take a total of 14 damage.
With the wound threshold of only... Oh, what does the armor do?
The armor, it's a soak of 10.
Okay. So it only takes 4 damage out of the 20.
Yeah. Excuse me real quick.
I just imagine that's him laying into it.
Wait, it has a total of...
That was unexpected. Okay, so that's 10 soak for 1 point of armor for a vehicle like that.
Soak.
Alright, so it has 16 HP left.
16 health left. So you can see bits of smoke and coming out of the holes in the front of the hood. One of them goes and hits just above one of the left wheel wells. Luckily missing the wheel, but take a little bit of damage.
Yep.
You can see him like readying the cannon again, and he forgot to aim because he was in a rush. Barely. All right, so that brings us to next player.
Get us out of here, kid.
What? Where?
Take us around the tower.
You sure about
I
that?
can't point you, but... Take us around to the tower, left side.
Alright, I will use my 2 movements to move the transport.
Okay. So because of how tight the quarters are in here, normally in a vehicle, if you had the open way, you could go really far. But in this case, that will be, we'll call that 1 maneuver to move over here.
Okay.
Because you've got to like, you whip it around, you kick the gas on, the wheels spin underneath you, and you spin the back end out, flipping around the tower. You guys actually hear the dust and the gravel being thrown up by these guys, and the large dust cloud that's kind of billowing out now from behind them as they whip around the tower, swinging the vehicle. Remember, this is like a wheeled, almost Jeep-like vehicle, big old 4-wheel drive thing. And you whip it around. Where are you bringing it to?
I was going to bring it...
I would
right
say
here.
on this map,
Hit
if you're
this-
going around a lot of stuff, about 20 is going to be your max distance, so you're
I'm
fine.
going to put it right here.
And
So he can have a shot at the tanks now that I see the tanks.
can Vic yell anything?
From the position that you're at right now, you can't actually see the heavy gun, by the way, if that's what you're trying to aim for.
Oh no, can I not? Or can...
The gunner can't. Remember, he's in the middle,
I can.
up on the top.
I can see it.
You can see the gunner, but the main gun can't. So I don't know if that's
Now
what you're shooting
he can see this.
for. Oh, okay. Yep. Don't mind me.
Now I see the gunner. I am aiming at the gunner. I've used 1 movement to do that,
All right.
and I'm going to take aim at the gunner.
Do a
Just the-
ground piloting check for me, because you are driving around a rickety-ass tower that's been
Try
put
not
up.
to hit it.
Trying not to hit
'cause
it.
We're in it.
Going around some other debris, and it's a fairly large vehicle that you're kind of threading the needle with, so...
3 success.
3 success?
Yes.
Okay. You managed to do exactly what you had pictured in your head.
Oh yeah.
The only problem is that the vehicle was bigger than you thought it was. You're not really used to the scale of this thing, and though you make it around the first of the main supports for the tower, you clip the second one.
Oh no.
Go ahead. I want Vic and Cree, go ahead and do a coordinations check for me.
I'm
This
gonna
only-
brace myself.
Go ahead and brace yourself, because it's sudden
one-
shifting, so you're gonna get that sudden like
One-
oh shit moment.
I remove 1 setback.
Okay.
So how do we brace
is it
ourselves? Then?
coordination?
You can't do that. It's an ability she has for trait. Unless you picked up
Oh,
brace. It's a
okay.
trait she has.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably gonna want to do this separately because I get 1 difficulty added to every roll.
So Vic,
Good points.
2 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, so here's for Vix. Let's see here. You said 2 success?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Damn,
you...
that binary load lifting droid is really loud.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. There's some stuff
It's
going on outside.
I just imagine it's the droid.
It,
Going, what the
It's
fuck's
the
going
engine.
on?
It's the engine of the tank.
the droid that you see, by the way, is just shut down with its 2 large arms, like, powered down. So you managed to stop yourself from rolling just head over feet down the side of this thing as the whole tower begins to now shift and twist from the vehicle colliding with its 1 support, twisting around. You managed to catch yourself and kind of just slide down with the side of it. You do take 2 strain from it.
Okay.
All right.
God. For the night, kid.
Then for mine,
the driver.
+1 difficulty, but -1 setback. I don't know what that does for me.
Microphone muted. Microphone
And,
activated.
Okay.
That's to advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So what'd you roll?
2 2 success, 2 advantage.
You don't get the black die on that. So 2 success and 2 advantage. All right, so you do get 1 advantage of this, but unlike Vic, who used all his hands to keep his balance as he slides down the back end of this thing as it starts to fall, you just fall right over on your back, start rolling down the side with the whole structure, the table, the chair, everything is like rolling around you and starting to smack you in the face as you make your way down. Give me a second. We're gonna see what kind of damage the debris does to you. Go ahead and take... Okay, as you're rolling down, the chair hits you in the side. The table, you kind of like roll over one of the legs as this whole thing comes crashing down, and you take 3 damage from it.
Is that minus soak or?
What's the soak on your armor?
2.
2 on that one. Okay, so go ahead. We'll go ahead minus soak for this one. Since it is just a table leg and a chair, you're able to absorb this. And with that, you guys are now down here.
I would like to be relieved that I didn't take more damage and like roll right out onto my face. So I'm gonna take away
Like some people.
I'm going to recover 1 strain.
There you
With my
go.
1 advantage.
It's destroyed.
It is now destroyed.
Flop.
So,
Okay.
we'll put that
I'll
on
just
top.
kind of look up like,
Quit messing with it.
huh,
Just leave it there.
All right.
whoops.
So, that's... What was that, kid?
Whoops.
Yeah, that was kid.
Yeah, I'm still
No,
going.
he's still
He's
I
still
have
going.
action.
That was just you moving into position. Okay, what else you gonna break?
I'm gonna take aim and shoot at the gunner.
All right, so you're gonna take, you move 1 maneuver to move, take 2 stress, or 2 strain for taking aim,
I
using up
did,
that
in
second
fact.
maneuver. All right, now you're taking a shot with your normal pistol. Okay.
Yeah. By the way,
I'm
that
gonna
was
give
all
you a
one-handed
setback dice
driving.
because you're doing this, like the vehicle is moving as you're getting into position. You're gonna take 1 setback just from the commotion of the vehicle, the tower coming down, it's chaos. So. Okay, 2 failures.
3 success, 1 advantage.
Oh man, okay, so you don't have the advantage because there was a threat. It was 2 failures and 1 threat.
Alright.
And blank die. So,
7 damage to this man's, or no, 8, because the success counts. 8 damage to this man's face.
yeah, we're counting the success for an extra damage, so that would be guard. So
I just
7.
imagine I just turn this, hit the tower. In his mind, he doesn't even care. He's just like, oh yeah, and just shoots.
That's so much cooler. And then you realize that the tower's coming
Then
down
realize,
next
like,
to you.
Huh. And he just like shoots him. He's like, yeah, then looks up.
That's
Oh,
so cool. Oh,
whoops.
So
You guys alive in there?
yeah. Try using both hands to drive there, kid. I was using that.
That's pretty cool though, right?
Yeah, it was. As I'm
On
sitting
the other
around,
hand, he's
like,
not
bleeding.
standing out in the open on top of a tower.
Yeah, you're no longer doing that.
Nature and cover.
that's 4. So you said you did 8 damage?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so he's gonna take. I didn't count his soak on that one. That's why the numbers aren't adding up right. Why did you do so much?
Because I'm amazing.
I
Okay,
think you
so
are anyways.
the blasts ring
do
out
that.
as your vehicle slides to a halt. You fire off the rounds. One of them hits the guy right in the shin. The next one hits him in the shoulder, and he's looking worse for wear, but he's still got his hand up on this heavy gun now, pointing basically the wrong way. He like tracked you around until the cannon hit the side of the junk speeder next to him, and now he's like, oh god, I just got this into position. He's looking worse for wear, but he's still in the fight. At that moment, that's when you hear the creak and the snapping of metal as the tower comes crumbling down next to you and your companions come rolling out. All right. So,
All according to plan.
who's up next? Is everybody gone
That
yet?
would be Ranger.
No.
No, I haven't gone yet.
I didn't think
Ranger
so.
has a clear shot of.
So seeing, for full understanding where Cantios has put me in front of this, what seems to be like some, I don't know what they are fully, I just see like tanks being stored, but I'm going to make
A rough assumption.
a rough assumption what they are. Ranger's going to take a aim shot at the group of tanks next to this building.
Okay. Make sure you guys are sharing the information in character. I'm going to let it slide, but you got to make sure that information gets out to everyone, because you suddenly changed course, drove around, and did something that your character didn't know about. You just saw Vic shooting at something.
Yeah, Vic went Hey,
Well,
It
There's
was
fuel
more of a fact
tanks
of just
over
getting
there.
out there as well.
the speeder was also taking fire from the
True.
other gun. So.
True, fair enough. I'm
Oh,
just
no,
saying.
I did.
Just saying.
I was told to move over
that,
here.
that meta. That we gotta watch that for that meta. So okay, you're firing off the tanks. They are small targets, just like trying to shoot a human-sized. Actually, this would be like shooting a Jawa-sized target, but there are enough of them. So let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 targets to hit, and you're aiming down. So I'd say this is like a human-sized target. That's gonna affect your difficulty.
I'm gonna go ahead and flip
A destiny point. All right.
yeah.
How-
Really?
I'll
You
upgrade
guys are
my-
burning the. You're almost halfway through the destiny points.
Like
I'm gonna
we
break-
We're
had
more than
nothing but.
halfway through.
I'd like to say Kantios has not done a single Destiny die.
No, it's my first Destiny die, actually. Right, rolling.
All right, go ahead and roll. There's the difficulty roll. Really?
2, 3.
1 failure, 2 threats.
4 success, 2 advantage.
So
All right.
he really hit that canister.
So, did
We
you use
haven't
both your
blown
maneuvers?
anything up yet.
No,
To
that was
aim?
one maneuver. That was one aim.
That was 1 aim. Okay, so you used 1 aim. You took the boost die for that. The quad-barreled cannon on this thing rings out as those huge bolts fly across the battlefield and connect with the first tank you aimed at. For a minute, nothing happens. For what seems like a minute, nothing happens. Really, split second before a huge fireball erupts, taking out one tank after another, chains through in just a millisecond as the majority of that structure, and all within, say, 6, everything within 6 of the tanks is blown away, including, nope, the cantina survives. These guys just evaporate. You lose out on half the structure here, as this guy within a tank, so that guy seems to survive, but we'll just say he's blown back by the sheer force of it. That structure is gone. A huge fireball now lights, and everybody is basked in this just massive flame that's now erupted back here. It continues to burn. The smoke just billowing up out of it, but going straight up, not obscuring anybody's vision. So, okay,
As a
there's your
final
shot.
incidental to my, just after the shot and after the explosion, Ranger cocks the weapon. Should have kept a racing, boys.
I like it. All right. Do you have an extra maneuver if you want to use it, or you have to sacrifice for it though? You're gonna have to use your strain for it.
There's not a lot I can do. No, I'll not be honest, there's not a lot really I can do with that maneuver, really. So,
Okay. So that's Ranger. That's all players have gone now, correct?
Kree hasn't,
Kree,
has she?
have you gone?
No. Yeah.
Okay. With everybody shifting around now, it's hard to keep track of what the hell's going on. Kree, you are prone at the moment.
All right. Gonna stand up, kind of collect myself.
All right. So you're moving from prone to standing, so that's going to be one of your maneuvers.
You okay there, little sister?
Yeah, I seem to be all right. Trying to get my bearings. I see what's what with all the firing and smoke and all that stuff. I kind of. How do I get the ruler thing?
It is the F5, the line on the left-hand side of your screen on the toolbar.
I go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make my way around this junk and come up to here. Kind of take cover over here behind this junk pile.
This junk pile right here.
Yeah.
Let's see, that should be...
Kind of at the edge of it here.
Oh yeah, you can make that way. So you make your way around the debris that used to be the tower. That used to be your prime firing position. You take cover behind the debris.
Don't expose yourself too much there.
That's a second maneuver, so 2 strain. And
Where exactly do you move? 'Cause
I'd
this
say
is-
here,
This is pretty particular.
but yeah, this is a pretty particular movement, Kree.
Cover from all the individuals on the right-hand side?
That we just left because we're like, maybe we shouldn't be here.
Alright, so as I'm kind of coming around here, I see these guys, like, through here, and
Okay.
I'll kind of tuck myself
Just go
in
shoot
the
the junk.
crook here.
that moment of, oh, crap, okay. And then you kind of drop right here. You do have enough movement to do that, so...
Okay.
You
Yeah, I mean,
still,
it's just kind of like
it's a
ducking around the
garbage
corner.
pile of, like, metal and debris, so you can still see through it. Yeah, but it is worth cover, so... Okay, so you've got cover now.
Okay, and then... I guess I will take aim at the weak point that I found in this junk speeder here.
Okay, so you're gonna... so you're taking aim with...
I don't have any maneuvers left to pull anything else out, so I'm going to take aim with my blaster.
I thought the blaster fire wasn't able to do it.
Yeah. You did. Got a plan.
Okay, go ahead. I believe in the Kree that believes in me.
Okay.
So,
A short-range shot. And it's going to be an upgraded difficulty roll because you're shooting at something that's relatively small. It's like a called shot.
yeah, I'm gonna use my touch of fate. Add 2 boost dice.
How does Touch of Fate work? It adds 2 boost dice
Add
to...
2 boost to any check once per session.
Okay.
All right.
So, go ahead and roll. 1 failure, 1
And you
threat.
got the added difficulty for me.
Oh, I did not. Thank you. Add a purple to that. So it's going to be
Oh,
3
this-
threat and 1 failure.
Hold on. 1 success, 4 advantage.
1 success and 4 advantage. Okay, so you take your shots with your customized pistol. You said-
Oh, huh.
No, you
I
need to
didn't
add a boost for
that.
that. Yep. And negative
My
1
bad.
setback.
All right, so I need 1 more boost.
So,
to roll
so
for
did you
that.
take away 1 setback because she was using that pistol?
I mean,
It was a blank.
I'll take away the
Wah,
setback, but
wah.
it was blank anyways for shooting through the junk pile.
Okay, so 1
Or
success,
boost
4
was also-
advantage.
Okay, and 4 advantage. So you fire off a few rounds, and you sadly can't manage to hit the smaller target from where you're standing right now. They just kind of plink away at the different bits of the speeder and junk. Though you do have 1 extra advantage to spend. How do you want to spend it?
I'm gonna recover. Right.
Okay, so go ahead and recover 1 strain.
Incidental. There's a weak point in there. If we want to knock the junk over onto the guy.
The one you
Or I
just
could-
shot all around?
The one I
Yeah.
could just shoot. That
Yeah,
I
I
just shot.
tried. I tried. It didn't work. Didn't work, but it's there.
Better way to point
It's
things
there.
out than gunfire. All right. You know, you guys have a really good idea of where it is, and if you were to look in that direction, you would see a awkwardly placed metal bar that seems to be holding the junk pile up above where
I
this
could
guy is
just
taking
continue
cover.
to shoot the man.
All right, that should be the last PC's turn.
Yes.
All right, so next up is... Who should be up next? Well, they're dead. Okay. So that is, they're a non-issue because that building is currently a giant ball of flames. We'll go with everybody's favorite companion here. So what they're going to do is they're going to use 2 maneuvers. 1 maneuver to kind of group back together and to help reposition this weapon. And they're going to attempt to reposition it. So they're lifting this thing up, and it's heavy. It's a big weapon. So 1 maneuver to get everybody over, 1 maneuver to pick it up and lift it and set it back down. And now to like deploy the feet on it. And this is going to be, for the most part, their let's see. So maneuver to move it, maneuver to deploy it. They should be able to take the shot. So let's see. With the help of
I
their...
thought it was a maneuver to break it down.
They're not breaking it down so much as just like picking it up and moving it over with feet already
take
deployed and
like
everything. That's why they took. That's why everybody is now completely exposed while they're doing this. Put 1 behind it.
Okay.
So This is going to be a shot for the... shot for Blitz. Heavy gun. You have defense, right?
Yes, he does have one ranged defense.
Is Blitz not there?
He has.
I know
I
I
don't
do.
know. Oh,
I'm
okay.
just looking at sidestep, actually, using sidestep, but I don't think I can since I'm on the gun turret.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck. Like, if maybe if
Yeah.
you were driving a light vehicle, you might be able to pull it off. I don't think so, though, because I think that would have to be a piloting maneuver.
Alright, so one range defense.
So one range defense.
He wouldn't be able to like drop down in the seat.
If he said he had done that in his turn, sure. Because that would be like taking cover. But then he wouldn't be, he'd have to use a maneuver to get back up. Like taking prone is what I would call that. I think that'd be the fairest way of doing it. But yeah, he can't just do it now. But he's getting the defense from having the armor on. So, all right, so the gunnery skill versus the shot difficulty, which is actually going to be upgraded because it's a small, tiny humanoid target. Oh, okay. So, the big cannon deploys, takes aim, and just starts unloading rounds toward the vehicle. Most of them pass harmlessly overhead, but one of them actually manages to go through all of the roll bars, carving their way through it, tink, tink, and into your other side, directly across from where you took that rib hit earlier. Go ahead and roll a D100.
Oh, 63. Yes.
63. All right, so you're going to take 14 damage, and you're taking a critical for slightly dazed. You're disoriented until the end of the encounter. And disoriented... Does anybody remember what disoriented does? Because I've got to look it up. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Wow. Disoriented.
Gain setback to all skill checks.
A setback to all skill
Wow.
checks. Okay. Alright, so that's what you got. Remember that. It's
What
for
is
the end of the
weapons
encounter.
disorient
Yep.
wet rating?
No, that's his critical he just hit.
Oh, that was for the entire
That was
round?
the that
Or
was the crit, and it's for the
For the
entire
whole
encounter.
encounter.
Disoriented.
Okay.
So until this battle is over, he is now disoriented from the blow. He's got blood gushing
setback.
from a wound that is a hole through his side at this point. How's your health?
I'm close, but I'm not there yet.
Okay, so it is a hole in your side then. You're hurting.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
I'm
so
bleeding.
you've got a clear blast through your side.
Oh, get us out of here, kid. Again.
Where? That thing can aim at us anywhere.
Just run it over.
Just run it over. I will take that in mind.
All right. Next up is going to be the fellas who ran to cover, and then the thing they were running from cover ran from them. They're actually going to... What's the range on this? Medium range. So they're going to take a shot at Kree. Medium range. You do have cover, so there's one step back. You don't have any other defenses, correct?
No.
Alright, so you've got your cover, your setback. That went out of the rolling bin, so I'll throw it back in there.
How'd you manage that?
It bounced out! By the way, I got this really sweet little rolly bin that I got for our anniversary. Thank you, Tabby, for this. It's
You're
awesome.
welcome.
Anyway,
I got tired of hearing the dice hit the floor.
so the group now trying to get their best shot. The rest of them don't really have a shot, so then they've now fallen away from the window, trying to get an angle on you. The only one that can see you, though, is this poor guy over here in the corner. He's going to take a few shots. Those rounds, though, like after watching the tower collapse and all the distractions, rounds flying everywhere as he's spraying them out, absolutely hitting nothing. But in doing so, in doing this, so he's getting real aggressive about it. He's actually stepped out of cover to fire these rounds as he's walking slowly kind of towards you. So now he's out of cover. Using up the threat that he collected. So, that's it for them, because you've managed to kill everyone coming out of the storage tank barracks area. It is up to the top again.
So I just got shot at, but they missed. Everybody good if I take my shot back at him?
I kind of want See what Ranger does.
Okay, Ranger, go for it.
He's hurt.
Ranger's gonna dismount the gun. All knowing he's just been absolutely, and he's currently he's kind of gone out the gun and he's fallen out the back.
Okay, so you've like
He's out the back, holding his
himself
side.
out.
I think that's a maneuver. He's gonna shove a stim pack into himself. He's one of his last stim packs actually. Into his side.
So that should be 5 healing for the stem pack. It's going to be your action.
Yep.
And remember that if you take any more for the rest of the 24-hour period for the day, it's going to be 4 next, and it'll continue counting down. Okay. So
And I'd like to use my
healing.
last maneuver to really get some, get up close against the main vehicle and get into some cover.
All right. So you've made your way down. You've pulled out the stem pack. You're bleeding pretty badly now. You're holding the wound closed as you slam a stem pack kind of close to the area. You can feel the back to like make its way into your system, and it starts to heal it, but you can definitely feel there's still more blood kind of pouring through. All right. You brace yourself against the tank. You are from where you're at, from your location, you are in full cover, so they're not going to be able to, they can't see you at this point. The tank is like a wall in front of you. But they have seen you crawl out of it. So, all right, that's going to be your turn.
Yeah.
Did you take your strain for the second maneuver?
Yes. Yeah, take it.
So, who's going up next? This is the top of a new round, so. Oh, actually, it's the Teleguard's turn.
Contius?
I'm sorry. Forgive me. Oh, the cannon just fired, didn't it? Because we've rotated these. So yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Next player's turn. The way they do this.
Who's going up?
Contius?
Do you want to jump in, Vic, or do you want me to run him over? You can jump in the cannon if you want, or I could take this thing for a ride.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
he's leaning over. You
Okay.
want to ride?
All right.
Get it.
Vic's shot one of these things before. It wasn't that hard. He hit something.
The only person
Try
to
and
hit that
aim. Try and
Tuscan.
aim.
That's true.
Yeah, try and aim.
Yeah.
He hit the Tuscan. So
Try and aim
he's
for
going
the
to,
cannon.
he's going to hop into the seat. He's going to use 2 of his arms to vault over the roll bar into the gunner's seat.
What do you gotta do these fancy athletics?
Okay, you're gonna vault into it. Go ahead and do a coordination check. See if you can just like do it with style.
Style points.
Triumph
my
and a success.
Triumph. You jump, like you grab this thing and you pull yourself up like a beast, and you land on top of it. And now they see this 4-armed monster,
Screaming like a banshee.
the silhouetted with the sun behind you, like bouncing off part of the cliffside, and you just see these 4 arms as you scream out. And then you jumping into the ride.
Don't shoot my friends!
So you
All right, now are you gonna?
jump into the
He's
vehicle.
gonna take an aim. He's gonna take a moment to aim this thing,
Okay.
grasping the grips of the gun in his hands, and he's gonna aim down at the gunner.
Hang on 2 seconds. I'm gonna roll to see if this guy can keep his discipline after seeing you just like.
Scary sight.
4-armed beast of burden jumps through the air.
All right, he sees this, but he's not all that impressed.
No.
He's just readies the weapon as he aims it towards you. All right, so you're taking an aim shot
Mm-hmm.
at that heavy gun, which is in cover. Okay.
Oh,
And 2 advantage.
5. So
I
those
just imagine him.
It's 5 failure, so those rounds just went everywhere. It's surprising that they even went in the general direction, but some of those rounds hit like parts of the top of the cliffside behind these guys. They are everywhere.
Wolverines.
You said 2 advantage?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 threat, so just completely evens out there. You missed the mark. That's your maneuver and your action. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Good job, Vic.
Yeah.
Get down,
Distracted
Vic.
him.
Get down.
He's going to go ahead and he's going to take his other movement No, he doesn't have another move.
No, he aimed. He doesn't have a move.
That's it. He's
All right.
done.
So you're in the gunner's
Alright.
seat now.
Gotta do everything myself.
Yes, you're driving. What are you doing?
Alright, I am going to use one of my movements, and I'm going to swing around to here. Right there.
Okay. So you are. Explain what you're trying to do. You're right. You're driving this way.
Alright, I'm driving this way. I'm gonna turn towards them. They're gonna turn around and see me. I'm just gonna wave and go straight at them.
So you're heading towards what is some
Right here.
boulders
We're
and
moving to here.
wreckage. So you're trying to move through here, and you want to try to. Yeah. It's got that'd be a really tight squeeze. Now you could make it through potentially, but now you're getting into running over like boulders and whatnot.
Or should I just
It's
go
your
this?
driving. What do you tell me what you're
I'm gonna
doing?
go straight at them then.
Okay, so you're gonna go straight at them. Tell me exactly what you're trying to do to to a particular target, or
I'm gonna run over that cannon.
you're gonna run that cannon over. So driving right through the 2 wreckage fields through to the cannon. Okay. All right. This is going to be a driving test, obviously, a driving check with driving test. Make sure you parallel park properly.
Pretty sure I failed at this point.
Can you
Parallel park right on top of that gun.
This
Oh
tank
my God.
on top of the gun.
And you're gonna try to run that gun over. I love this plan.
2 success, 2 advantage.
There's the roll. You said 2 success and 2 advantage?
Yes.
Okay. So you floor it, and you can feel all 6 of those tires in 4-wheel drive, or 6-wheel drive, just going to town. Ranger, you need to see if you can get out of the way of the debris that's flying towards you. So go ahead and do a... and while you're
Just
trying to
imagine
heal this
going-
hole in your side.
This is what
Imagine him
happens when you
going,
let the kid
kid!
Athletics.
This will be coordination. It's going to be your agility to. You feel like the truck start to jolt and the wheels start to spin, and you're trying to just dive out of the way. And whoever else is behind it right now. So who else is back there? So
Nope.
I think
No
those
one
are
else.
in it.
That's it.
Yeah, we're in it.
So you're currently in it. So all right.
Alright. Just double check.
Because there's rocks and shit just flying out from behind this thing that you were currently leaning against. By the way, this is also a check to see if you fall on your face.
Don't
I
be
got-
like me. Don't fall on your face.
I got 1 success, 2 advantage.
And with that, Cantios slams on the gas, flies forward. Go ahead and move the thing. Whoops.
Oh.
Whoops. Pushes
barrel.
the junk
Is that what it actually looked like?
and debris pretty damn close out of the way. The people who you're trying to run over, though, see you coming towards them. As you rush through here, they manage to get... Actually, we'll just do a roll to see if they do. It's just legit. Oh, man, okay. Same roll. 2, 3. Oh, okay. So you wedge the vehicle most of the way through, actually managing to knock out that metal bit that that Kriya was pointing at, and the whole
I helped.
junk speeder starts to shift and collapse. One of these guys manages to dive out of the way just in the nick of time. Sadly, the other one is not so lucky, and in his shock of what just happened, you park directly on top of him. One of those wheels just bam, you feel it like that impact of a body hitting the front of the vehicle. It is now just scarred with blood on the front of it, and his body disappears underneath the wheel well. At the wheel's still trying to spin as it's trying to gain traction, but you've managed to lift the tank up onto some kind of debris now as the junk speeder now collapses. Let's see if it survives. How much health does the vehicle still have?
16.
It has 16 health left? Okay. So
Yeah.
just...
A lot of health. Only took 1 shot.
Oh god, how am I going to figure out damage on this thing from this thing collapsing? Let's see.
So I didn't hit the speeder or my target, but I hit a person.
Okay.
If I can make a suggestion, if it
You may.
doesn't exceed his soak, maybe he doesn't sustain damage, but it gets entrapped
Yeah.
temporarily.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll. First, I'm going to roll to see if it takes damage, and it is going to. It's going to take 11 damage. We're going to roll a d20 on that one. We're going to let the dice, the fate of the dice decide, which will let the armor suck up some of that, which has 1 armor, right?
Yeah, so it takes 1 damage.
So it's going to take 1 damage, but it is now stuck in there. The wheels just can't get traction for this turn. You can make an attempt, if you'd like, in the next turn to try to, like, shake it free by whipping the wheel around or whatever you want to do. But right now you are stuck.
And I didn't hit my target.
You didn't hit your target, though you managed to crush one poor sap that was in the way. And one managed to drop. He is now prone, so he'll have to use a maneuver to get up. And this guy with the gun is literally scraping against the hull of the vehicle at point-blank range.
So I am going to... I still have an action.
That was a maneuver.
Yeah, and another maneuver. So I'm going to take 2 strain.
Okay.
And I'm going to shoot this man in the face.
In the face. He is...
Right in the face.
I would say you're in engaged range with the gun, but the gun is massive, so we'll just say he's at short range. You couldn't reach out and hit him with a sword. He's probably at short range. I am going to give you a setback for chaos, just for what you just caused. You're probably just as shaken as the people you... Well, maybe not the guy you ran over, but everybody who got out of the way.
The guy he ran over is a little more shaken than anybody else.
Okay.
1 failure, 1 threat.
Damn. 1 success.
No way.
And 5 advantage.
Oh my god.
You missed? Okay. So, in the explosion of metal and debris and wheels spinning and stuck, you pull your pistol out and you've had these pretty badass moments. You're feeling pretty confident and you just whip off some shots. Too bad you didn't wait till you opened your eyes. And the bullets fly out toward the target, hitting... What happens? You've got like 4 advantage to spend.
A lot of advantage. I am going to disorient him, give him a setback. I didn't hit him, so I can't back him away from the gun.
So, can I point out, negate the targeted enemy's defensive bonuses, cover equipment, or maneuvers?
Oh, yeah. Alright, yeah.
Okay.
So, I'm backing him away from the equipment.
You can go ahead and, like, you want to push him back some more, is what you want to do? One of the rules with gunnery is that if you are using something that is gunnery, it cannot fire in engaged range.
Oh. So he couldn't fire if he wanted to.
He couldn't fire the weapon if he wanted to. He would have to move it or try to fire at a target that is not currently engaged. But if he is engaged, he can't fire at all because he's busy dealing with whatever's engaging him. And oddly enough, I'm going to count this as you have engaged him with a tank. I don't know if that's what they thought about with the rules, but you have engaged him with a tank. We're going with it.
He brought a gun to a tank fight.
It's a pretty big gun. He thought he was going to get away with it.
So there's this Jeep 6-wheeled monster that is pushed up against the vehicle. So how do you want to use your advantage?
Well, I'm going to give a boost to the next PC, and I'm going to give him a disadvantage, and then I'm going to reduce 1 strain from my last remaining advantage.
I will say you could spend... You got to tell me how you're going to give those advantages and disadvantages. So narratively, how does that work?
All right, so I'm going to make this guy completely surprised that this tank just happened, killed his friend. I'm going to then shoot at him. He's now falling back from the gun, like literally falling.
Okay. So he's like backing up from this tank that just came out of nowhere. Now he can't use the rifle. He's at a extreme disadvantage, I'll say. Jesus. And
the advantage being to my teammates that he's out of cover, and I go, shoot him now.
Just for curiosity's sake, hang on 2 seconds. Let's do a coordination check on this guy. To see if the guy who dived out of the way, did he manage to, like, he jumped out of the way. Did he dive and fall on his ass? And is he prone currently? No, he just managed to, like, jump out of the way and get out of the way, but he's still standing. He doesn't have to use a maneuver to get up. And this guy is pushed back, so he's at a disadvantage. And what else are you doing?
Giving an advantage to the next PC, and then taking 1 strain away for myself.
Alright, so who's up next? I think that's the end of this round, right? Or you went at the beginning, didn't you? Yeah, you went at the beginning.
Moved.
Yep.
And then it was the guy with the gun.
Was it the beginning of this round or the end of last round?
Yeah, you went first at the beginning of this round. I'm pretty sure. Because then it was the tunnel guard who shot at you and put a hole in you.
No, I thought it was she wanted to go, but then text message just that I should go.
No, because Ranger went first because we wanted him to see if he was going to heal his damage.
Yeah, so I went
Kree
first.
still needs to go.
pretty sure she went first, and then...
I thought I went last round.
Okay,
Because I
that's
fell
probably
out
what
of the
it is.
thing.
One of the
I did
issues, just for the stream real quick, one of the issues with this is the way that they do initiative is that the players and the GM get to choose which characters take what slot in the initiative order, and so it gets very confusing very quickly when you start switching to the next round, and it's like, okay, the person who went last time goes first this time. So, all right, go ahead and take your turn then, and then we will be at the NPC's turn, and then at the top of the round for the one group that hasn't come yet.
Okay, so I hear this big commotion behind me. I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at the guy who just kind of shot at me. But I know my friends are taking care of business back there, so I'll take that advantage and shoot at this guy here. He's
at medium range right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two people that you may have a shot on, because there's a hole in the wall here where this guy's body hit, but they are both at medium range right now from your current position. This guy, from your position, is at short range, but you can still move.
And he's prone, so she gets a boost.
He saved it.
Right.
He's not prone. He
Oh.
rolled well enough just to keep from dropping to his.
All right. I will take one maneuver, move a little bit, like to this corner here, to the other corner, so I can get a clear line of sight on this guy.
Let's get rid of all the hands. I can't tell who's who. All right.
Sorry.
What color are you
I
on
just
the
moved my hand
on the mob?
I'm gonna move
Thank you.
here.
Okay, so you're gonna move here with one of your maneuvers.
Yep. And then I'm going to shoot at this guy here.
All right. Now, when you moved here, is your character in cover in the garbage pile still? Is that what you're thinking? Or are you moving out?
Kind of like. Okay. No, she's still in cover.
She's still in cover. Okay. So, and you're taking a shot at this guy.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a short range shot. He is. Let's see. Do you have a? Would he be considered in cover there? No. No. He just ran away. So, all right. It's a short range shot.
Okay, add one difficulty because of my crit, take away one setback because of my awesome blaster. And I'm just gonna shoot at them.
It's one failure and one threat
I
for the
also gave a
shot.
boost.
Oh, and I have advantage from tattoos,
Contigo?
causing mass
Oh.
freaking chaos.
This is true. This guy has now stumbled away from a tank that's tried to run him over, so you definitely have a kind of an open shot at him, and he's not expecting the round.
2 success.
Boost
1
die at their
advantage.
best.
2 success and 1 advantage, so you don't get any advantage from it. You do manage to hit. How much damage do you do?
Alright. Do I hit with both success or just one?
It's just 1. You had 1 failure. So
Okay, so 6 damage.
I have to ask, was this the guy that was the original gunner and that I shot at already and it did 8 damage to? Because then this guy, like the 2 other guys came from behind over here and they set it up.
yeah, he's wounded. And with that, a couple of quick
So
shots from Kree as she pulls out her blaster. The rounds blast out, and this guy who just stumbled out of the way of a tank coming right for his face ends up in the open. Perfect shot for Kree to take it. And she does, and he falls over dead. One round going right into the chest and the other going into his head. Hits the ground. Okay. That's now Kree's turn, wrapping up the end of the PC's turn, correct? Pretty sure you're all gone now.
Yes.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
so for the survivors.
I don't know if it's just me, but you're sounding a little choppy.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit from your guys' end too. I'm not sure what's up, but the stream still
I
says
think
good
it's
quality.
TeamSpeak.
So the TeamSpeak is having some issues.
TeamSpeak.
Yeah, TeamSpeak's getting a little robot.
Yeah, we've already lost connection twice, so yeah, TeamSpeak having some issues. But anyways, we got one guy left. He's looking. He sees the gun that he was using. His one chance to take that tank now is scraping against the side of the tank. He knows that he can't get a proper shot with it, and he doesn't want to get any closer to that thing than he needs to. So he is going to actually start taking off toward this tower. So just a real quick. Yep. He's going to run his maximum distance. What does he have for damage? Oh, he's going to do that too. 2. he's going to use his second mover to actually run up here and get with his buddy into the sandbag cover now. Which you guys might actually be close enough. The guy in the tower is actually going to take a shot at the vehicle itself. And he's using... did I give you... I gave you the only... Where's that rifle card that I gave you?
Yeah, it's right here.
I'm looking at the wrong side of the table. I gave you my only one of those. Give me one of those. I need those. So that was 9 damage on the shot. Okay, I just did. So he's gonna take a shot with his rifle, and that is a check the range on that.
Now he's firing at the tank itself.
He's shooting at the tank himself. It's the only thing in his range right now from the top of the tower. That's a fairly easy shot because the tank is huge, or the truck is huge. It's not really so much as a tank.
Did you give them... Oh, you gave the other guy disadvantage.
Yeah, this is a different guy. This is the guy who's ran into the tower, and he's kind of like held up there, talking into his comm link. Okay. And he's going to do 12 damage to the vehicle itself. And don't forget to minus the sub for it. So he busts out this...
2 damage.
So 2 damage for the armor. So he barely gets through the armor. He jumps up, fires a few rounds off. Most of them ping harmlessly off the armor, but 2 of them manage to sink themselves in. You're not sure if they've done any substantial damage to the vehicle, but it seems to be running okay for what you've done, even though it's stuck. So that's their turn, and the gentleman out here, he's with that group, is going to use... He's going to try to run back toward the cantina. He's going to use one of his maneuvers to do that. Okay. And that's going to be their turn. Nobody else inside the cantina is coming out. And it is back up to the top.
All right. Anyone care if I try and get this thing unstuck with one of my movements?
Actually,
it's going to be doing a skill check, so it's actually going to be your action to try to wrangle this thing out.
Oh, all right. So can Vic take a shot while it's stuck?
Now that it's ground to a halt and Kantios isn't whipping him around, Vic is going to take an aim. Can he aim at the tower?
He can, sure.
I don't honestly know what kind of.
So the structure, these
do, but this is a big gun.
Yeah, it's a big gun. It's made for big targets.
I just tapped this structure and collapsed one. So.
So he's going to take an aim at the tower. Obviously, he's been aiming at too small a thing. So he's going to take a real close aim, and he's going to try and aim at the corner support of the tower.
You're gonna aim it. Okay, so what you're looking at, just to give you a picture of it, is this ramshackled makeshift tower out of spare, like, metallic parts. They have been hastily attached together with any type of bolts or bits that they could find. From the damage and the explosions that you've seen from this gun turret going off so far on the top of this thing, you imagine that aiming at particulars, probably not an issue. So much as like aiming at the hole.
Okay, so he's gonna hose down the tower.
Okay, because shooting at a particular like that is a lot harder than, say, just shooting at the building. And so, silhouette of a tower. Oh, it's fun being a GM. Sure. All right. Yeah,
we try and make it interesting with rolls, like running people over.
Yeah, you just try to make it fun and interesting. That's the fun part of being a GM. So, okay, are you ready to do a gunnery check against...
And that's at medium range?
Not for that weapon.
This is all short range, yeah.
So you're in that's a vehicle weapon. That's on the scale of like TIE fighters and the Millennium Falcon and that kind of thing. So this is well within its short range capability. Or what do they call it? They call it what do they call it? Close in this. So okay.
Close range.
Go ahead and fire. You've got 1 failure and 1 threat.
One. One success and 1 advantage.
Womp womp.
The 2 boost die yet again.
The 4 rounds blast out from the cannon, and you'd think that hitting the broadside of a crappily built tower would be easy. Apparently, when you've not really used one of these cannons before, not so much, and the rounds fly out and hit parts of the wall. Rocks and dust kind of fall out and trickle down, but with no real effect. One way or the other. So there's your shot.
Hey, I hit it! I hit it!
The canyon?
Now take it down.
I'm
So
trying!
you hit the canyon all right. You hit something all right, Vic. Good job. And actually try and aim next time.
I did aim!
Aim better.
Hey, I hit it!
You hit the wall.
Canyon, Vic.
You hit the canyon wall. Ugh. All right. So that's who's next.
Hit it all right. All right. Whichever one of you guys want to go, unless you want me to use my action to get out of this thing.
I could go, and I was thinking of Rage to get himself up. I think he's gonna get next to the cover, next to crew. With his, it'll be 1 minute.
Where you look, you're right. This is you, right? Yeah. Okay. So if it's 10, 10
Yeah,
is 10 is your maneuver, so that's your range.
Okay, yeah, so I'm fine with my maneuver.
All right. Let's go ahead and move up.
I'm gonna get myself in here.
All right. So now, right now, there's bits of like metal shards and just crap in front of you, but you can see through it. Shooting through it though is just gonna make it a little bit more difficult.
Okay, build up something quickly. Right now, she'll take a normal shot at this guy right here, trying to get back inside.
Let's see. So you moved up into cover, so we'll just assume you're like as close. The model won't let it, but you're as close as you can get to the cover. So
Yeah,
you
okay,
are just in short range for it. So, and if you guys are wondering what the ranges mean, the farther the range out, the more difficult the shot is, and some weapons can't fire very far. So short range is like the minimum they get. So, all right, you're gonna take the shot. Now it's through the wreckage, so it's gonna take a setback for it. He is hauling ass back into the canteen, is what it seems like. He's just full tilt.
Alright. That's
1
2
threat.
success and 1 advantage.
So what's your what damage do you do with that?
2 success.
That's with your rifle, right?
So that would be, yep, so that would be 10 damage, so plus 2, so 12 damage.
So, this guy is running. He was in cover. He tried to shoot you earlier. He's made his sprint all the way around. And just as he gets toward the lip of the doorway and he hits the console, the doors open up. He takes 2 rounds in the back from you. And his weapon drops next to him, and he stumbles into the darkness of the cantina.
Fucking bastard.
You're taking 12 damage. Wow. Bad.
Yeah, so
Oh no, he's dead.
No, he's gone.
He's dead. He
Oh, he
just
died.
he
He
just
died.
stumbled into the dark. So whoever is inside here, and you know what? Hang on a second. We're gonna do our first cool check. Our first
Yeah.
fear check. Especially with all the ruckus you guys have
Hey
made.
guys, something
And here I was like,
Something going on
maybe
out
they'll go all stealthy and just try to grab the guy.
Well, that was an option.
This is coming from
Aren't you
the
cute?
best, like, me and Tabby, I'll have you know, in our other campaign, are the best distraction team ever.
Are they gonna-
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually it means we're blowing stuff up.
Which we are right now.
Explosions are distracting.
explosions are cool, right?
All right. This is probably a good time to take a break. Actually, what time were we running
I
to? We gonna
agree.
run to until 5? Or 6?
Yeah, I'm good.
You guys are good?
I'm about to find out for a
what
second,
time
but
would it be?
5:30 is fine, definitely.
I know, Blitz, it's your
Yeah,
time.
we're gonna-
That's the kind of the limiting thing right now.
Yeah.
We can go to half 5, that'll be your time, so in half
Okay.
an hour's time.
Have enough time. All right, so everybody take a quick break, restroom break. Everybody watching at home, time to take a break, and we will come back and I will hang out with the stream,
All
sit on
right.
my coffee. So we'll take a quick break. I can answer some questions for the stream. Hey guys. Yeah, so the stealthy route. I'm a little surprised. They did manage to roll so well. So if you haven't seen our first few sessions, their stealth rolls have been abysmal, and this is the first time where the entire group has rolled well. If you've got a high skill in stealth, you can actually, like, if somebody in your party doesn't, you can bolster their ability to keep it down if your roll is really good. But they all rolled like 3s and 2s, a 4. Ranger rolled a frickin' 4. It got crazy. So, like, the hugely successful stealth rolls is what allowed them to get up near that vehicle. If I had bet money, I would have assumed that they would have ended up fighting that vehicle. This was their call, though. They wanted to go try to make some credits. They wanted to see if they could take on the Squill Kings and a bounty that has been posted. They had many options and many stories that they could have pursued, or routes or avenues that they could have pursued. But this is the one that they chose, because they think that whenever what they're going to do, I guess they think they need more credits, which is kind of interesting. Shaq, did you take a break? Did Skyrim break your update? No, the Skyrim didn't. Oh, no, because I didn't stream yesterday. So the reason I didn't stream was just because I was completely overwhelmed with the amount of streaming that I was doing. I just needed a day. And then we had some things come up that I had to go deal with. So that's all. That's all. I just took a day. It's like in content on this channel every single day. One day I took off. Luca. By the way, Nyrock, thank you so much for the $2 donation. Luca, thanks for the £2. Hey Shaq, take a coffee on me. Appreciate it. Question: can you replace a droid head unit? Can you replace a droid head unit? That would very much matter on like what you're trying to do. It's always GM discretion with stuff like this. They attached a droid head to their speeder when in the third session we ever played, they decided that it needed power, and the only power source that they thought of, not the only power source, but the one they thought of was to like weld it or wire it in to their land speeder that they had access to, which I did not see coming at all. And suddenly they had this like really creepy Knight Rider-esque droid head that talked to them, and then they eventually put it on a swivel mount that could rotate, so it would like rotate and talk to people and creep the locals out because it had one eye that worked. It was fun. It was the thing. That
Vic
was
has it in the bag. He may mount it again.
Vic, he still has C9.
Yeah, he still has a C9 head in the bag.
Maybe we can mount it to the tank if we get
C9
to
or
keep
C6?
it.
C690, I think is what it was.
C690.
C9, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
C960.
wrote down somewhere, but
C960.
poor droid. Oh, I felt so bad for him.
And I will have you know, my stealth rolls have always been amazing.
Uh-huh. No, you failed. It
Amazing.
wasn't the stealth that you failed on, I'm thinking of. It was the attack against the rat, where you missed
Yeah, always the attacks.
the blade. You brought the blade down to kill the womp rat, and you totally whiffed it and ended up staring him like in the eye. That was great, by the way. That was fantastic.
Yes, it was.
How many races
good
are
one.
available to play in this? Neon says.
There's a lot.
There's a ton. And there's a bunch of
Depends on how many
player-made
books
ones.
you're using.
Every book that they release seems to have new races in it, and then there's a bunch of player-made ones that fill in some of the gaps. And you can, if a GM is cool with it and it's balanced, you can probably make up your own, like within the universe, or make up the stats for one that already exists in Star Wars. But it's up to the GM. And kind
As long
of
as you give it reason.
Yeah.
I've got 2 OP.
Have you talked about the Star Wars character generator yet?
Oh, the software.
Mhm.
Is that what you're talking about? I have not.
Yep.
So you want to tell people about it? 'Cause you've used it more than I have.
So there's a guy named Ogdude, Oggdude, and he put out a Star Wars character generator. It's actually a full set of GM tools, and you can use it to make characters, but you can also use it to make up items, and you can add items, and that's how we actually keep track of our characters, is we're using that.
Yeah.
And then every time our characters change, we just print off a PDF copy of it, of our character sheets and pass it on to Shack for him to update our character sheets.
Yeah, you
Once
guys
we
were just...
figured out, it was such an easy system, wasn't it?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
Really simple.
They
Once
just
we had
upload
figured
it
out.
to Discord. They just send it to me, and it automatically hosts it on the Discord, and then I just drop a link into Tabletop right before we start playing. Boom, they've got updated character sheets. I'm going to flip yours over. With all of their stuff, all of their traits and their skills, it's really cool. It's really helpful. What else? What else? So
Yeah, and
you were
then I
talking
use
about
that
custom
in
items,
conjunction
too.
with a
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I use that in conjunction with a way of printing to a PDF file. Basically, there's a program that I don't remember off the top of my head, which will let you print a PDF treat it as a file, basically as a Windows printer, and then you can make image copies of it.
And then you can just...
It's actually worked really well. Yeah, there's an option to actually you can modify the database, like these custom weapons and like the skiff that Shack made. I
Yep.
went ahead and actually put it into the character generator so I could assign it to my character.
Which is pretty nice, because
And
a
then,
lot of the weapons that you see in the game, I mean, not all of them, there's quite a few of them here that I've made custom for this campaign. They have a little bit more character to them. Like the vehicle, they are currently gotten stuck.
I'm back, by the way.
Completely stuck.
The software lets them put it into their characters, which is really cool. So, and those items didn't
Between
exist.
the character generator and tabletop simulator, I think that's what really allows us to play a tabletop RPG like this when we live on separate continents. Not
Well, you guys
even
are
just
since
not all
me.
in the same city.
One
One of us.
I like that it's the one guy that went a
There are
little
two
robot-y
between
during
us.
it.
Well, okay, there's always challenges.
TeamSpeak's not
Blame
behaving
TeamSpeak.
well tonight.
It's really not. I think there's a bit of a lag, too, between all of us right now.
TeamSpeak is normally much more stable than this, so that's kind of when we normally go with it, but not today, apparently.
Nihilus,
Yeah, I know, right?
you can
Dropped twice.
submit
Now we're robotic.
NPCs, but it's more like a scenario that I like people to submit, so not just NPCs, but like, what's the scenario that the players would find themselves in? I'm totally cherry-picking really fun ones that could be used for later, or that I could twist in fun ways to kind of go with the story, or be like little side stories. So, not that I know where the story's going, because you assholes are constantly ruining it. Always changing it and
Always,
making
it's a
decisions. And deciding where you go.
Junk.
Need to make a linear story.
Contios only came back because he wanted the tank.
That way.
What? What's up?
We're all back.
Everybody's back. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
we've got
good.
about a
There
half
you
hour
go.
left, so we can continue on. You guys haven't seen
Did we
this.
finish this
but
engagement up?
You've seen these. Some people have disappeared. You didn't see them to begin with, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
This guy, I honestly just forgot about this guy in the back, so we're just gonna take him off screen.
He's dead.
He didn't exist. Okay,
He ran
so
away.
he already died in the tank explosion.
He
That's
saw what was going down. He ran away.
Okay, so you have who was up? Where did we leave off? We left off with I
I
think
My
still have to
shotgun in
go.
the back.
I
Two
and
and
Free
Firo.
have to go.
yeah, 2 APCs should be left. So who wants to take the
You
next?
were doing a fear roll, weren't you? You were
Yeah,
doing a fear
I-
roll.
I
Oh
did
yeah,
it.
you were doing the fear thing. You
I
did it?
know.
Okay, we don't know that.
okay.
Kree's up, unless you want me to do the thing. Unless you have something specifically in mind.
I've got something completely crazy in mind, so go ahead and try yours.
I mean, how crazy we talking? Because I've already done some crazy
I
shenanigans.
love the crazy.
We're talking real crazy here.
Okay, I'm gonna use my action to attempt to get this thing out of the rubble then.
Okay, so that's going to be a
Vic,
atmospheric piloting
By
check.
the way, before you do this,
Atmospheric?
Before you do
or-
this, Vic is going to peer over the side and see that there was a bit of the air speeder, land junk speeder right here, which is caught between two of the tires, and he goes, "You got something on the right side here. Try to turn the front wheels to the right and rock it a little bit." And he's going to give him a boost on that die.
Did you have an advantage to
And you
use
know
that
what?
boost?
I
It's in combat mode now.
He's assisting.
Is he? Oh, is he assisting for his turn? You guys are still in combat.
Well, I thought
That's
it was
my
a
turn.
check more than a combat maneuver, but
Yeah, like when you're in
I'm
combat, then
going
you're
to-
actually spending the points. But okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna flip a destiny. This is my first one ever.
Oh man, you guys are
I want
flipping
this
some
tank out.
destiny points.
Oh damn.
So many. All right, so there you go. Now, what are you doing to flip that? Are you
So many.
upgrading your roll, or downgrading the difficulty?
Yes. Ooh. You know what? I'll downgrade the difficulty.
Okay. One of the reds have now turned to a purple.
One of the reds. Oh, great.
So, go ahead and roll. 3 failures, 2 threats.
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 advantages, 1 success. Or sorry, 5 successes, 1 advantage.
Okay, so in this instance,
Very different roll.
you kick on the gas and you're whipping the wheel back and forth, and you can hear a lot of metal squeaking and twisting, and then you hear this big shift. And though the vehicle isn't free, you're definitely making progress. In the next attempt that you do, it will be downgraded by 2 difficulty rolls.
Nice.
So, all right.
Incidental. I think I'm doing it.
All you guys hear is creak, crunch, and these wheels just trying to get traction, all 6 of them.
who let the kid drive?
Who let you
let
shoot?
the alien shoot?
what did I do?
All right.
Just so you know, Vic, you were my backup plan.
All you guys hear is just metal creaking and wheels going, and the faint, annoying voice of something, but you're not sure what it is. Because it's
Dude,
just
we're just arguing.
horrible.
We're just arguing.
Like, but to the wind, because nobody can hear any of this because of all the wreck-it.
Yep.
All right, so Kree, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna use my quick draw ability, put my pistol away. Use one maneuver to pull my staff out, and my second maneuver, walk kind of up to this corner here.
Kree, you're a mad woman.
Okay.
You've already been crit once.
So you're
this
moving up
encounter.
here. Okay.
Now, I want to be close enough to the door that I can yell inside.
All right. So
Can I do that?
Boy.
you are.
So I'm
So,
kind of like back against the wall.
so wait a minute. You used your maneuver to move from here over, right?
Yeah, so that's 10.
So that's your 10. So you're where you're at now. So you can't get any closer without taking another maneuver. But you're back against the wall. If you yelled at the top of your lungs, you get the sense that someone would probably hear you. Especially with how many holes are in this canteen to begin with. It is not the sturdiest of structures.
All right, I'm gonna take a moment and I'm gonna focus on the staff in my hands. And I really, really want it to glow. I don't know if it's going to, but I want those symbols to glow. With my eyes still closed because I don't. I'm
Okay.
gonna yell in as my action. I'm gonna yell in, and I'm going to say, "You're done. Give up, and you will live. Give up now, and we won't kill all of you. Your friends are dead. Your buildings are blown up. Give
All
up.
We
right.
have your tank.
So go ahead and let's see. With Kree focusing on when she's screaming this, is she focusing on them or is she focusing on the staff? And if she's focusing on the staff, what's her like emotional state at the moment? Is it just go ahead and roll a force die for me first.
All right. Black die. So this is kind of desperation. That's why she pulled out the staff. And she is focusing. She's going to use that desperation and she's going to turn it into like, she wants them to be afraid.
All right, 1 second. I've got to look something up real quick.
I also get defensive from the staff.
That does have really nice defense characteristics. So,
Staff's OP.
oh yeah. You look at those stats and look at your rifle and tell me that. Okay.
in her mind. It's probably not actually happening, but she's gripping the staff. She's got her eyes closed. In her mind, she wants these symbols all up and down this mysterious staff to just be glowing.
So go ahead and
That's
roll
what
a
she's, like,
perception check.
focusing on.
Actually,
Perception.
not a perception check. Do a knowledge check, because as you start to focus and you scream this out, the staff is now in your hands in front of you. You scream at the top of your lungs, even with the metal twisting and breaking in the background. Your voice rings out into the cantina. Do a knowledge check
Which one?
to see if you can read the words that light up on the part of the staff that's facing you. So that will be
lore.
yeah, that'll be lore for the bits that you remember from the research that you did at the mine with Dr. Pang.
Okay, so
Pag, excuse me.
a lore check would be -1 setback.
Well, you're still getting a setback because of the situation is crazy, but you do get rid of one of them, so. All right. Roll. That's
Don't
one
fail me that dice.
failure and 2 threat.
2 success and 4 advantage.
2 success and 4 advantage.
Oh, nice.
All right, now I want you to roll a persuasion check. Actually, this is going to be... You are going to try to coerce them in a threatening and intimidating manner. So, coercion.
Yeah.
Coercion.
So roll your coercion check. And this is going to be against... Goodness. You guys do not understand how many sticky notes are on my desk right now.
3 success, 2 advantage.
Against his... Okay, so... the staff lights up in front of you as you scream this out as loud as you can. It rings out through to the cantina. You get the sense that whoever's inside there, some of them at least heard it. The staff, while you're focusing on it, does begin to light up, though you can only see the one side of it. You glance down, and from what you remember, you burn these words into your mind. The will of the Force guides and teaches. Lessons learned in life are greater, cut deeper, and last longer in the mind than those learned in study. This ablazons on the side. Now, you've seen the carvings before, but they were a jumbled mess of cuts that, though represented some of the letters of Keldor, of ancient Keldor, they weren't full sentences, but now only pieces, only parts of those engravings light up. And it said, did you want me to repeat that?
Yes, please. A little bit slower this time.
Okay. The will of the Force guides, teaches. Lessons learned in life are greater, cut deeper, and last longer in the mind than those learned from study. In ancient Keldor, it's a lot shorter.
The will of the Force guides, teaches, lessons learned in life
are greater, cut deeper, last longer in the mind than those learned from study. When you scream this out, a voice rings back from inside the cantina, gruff and older. You can't see it from your current position, but it's... I don't know who you are, but like hell will ever surrender. And a couple of blaster bolts fly out of the doorway. Okay.
All right.
And that's your turn.
My turn.
In my head, as she was walking towards that thing, she was mumbling in the back, I am one with the jazz hand. The jazz hand is one with me.
My jazz hands don't fail me now.
Okay, that would be the end of your turn.
That's it.
And that's it for you guys.
PC.
That's the last PC. So it would be our friends over at the guard tower's turn. They... Let's seeing the range that you guys are at, are going to run down here. Both of them together. And make their way. It's like they're booking it now. They've seen this tank is starting to wrench its way free, and so they're just like looking at each other, looking at that. Nope, not having that, and they're taking off running. And that's gonna be the end of their turn. So that goes back up to the top. So who wants to go next? That's PC.
Vic bangs on the roof. Get this thing pointed the other way.
Will do.
Turn it right, kid.
So
Alright, I am going to get this thing out, or attempt to get this thing out.
okay, because the last turn you did manage to kind of wrangle it a little freer, it'll be a lot easier to free. What'd you get? You got 1 threat on the roll.
2 success, 2 advantage.
All right, where are you trying to go with it?
Just, I'm going to move it and then turn it facing the cantina.
All right, so with your action, you pull it and push it, and you manage to pull it out and pull it free. So you're gonna use your action. So this is your maneuver now that you're moving. So it breaks free.
Yep.
You start to accelerate forward, and now your maneuver. Where do you want to take it?
I'm going to aim it directly here.
All right, so we're just gonna move
At
this
the
fella
entrance of the
over.
cantina.
He is very much dead. Kind of just like knock him over. Oh well. And you aim. You flip it around, and now you're aiming straight toward the cantina door. We're just gonna pull these guys off the table now. This is
The dead ones. Yep.
unnecessary. Yep.
So many dead. So many dead.
The cantina door is open, and from your perspective now as the driver and as the gunner, you can actually see inside, and there are 2 individuals inside. Now, taking cover behind what looks like... actually, no, there's a wall there. You guys can't see that, so it's just a doorway. It's dark in there. You can't see anything. They've now shut off the lights so that maybe it'll be harder for you guys to see when you come in. So
what you're saying is, open the door.
the door's open.
Vic, you should open.
careful.
Oh, okay.
The door is
yeah,
open. It's just
it's
darkness in there. You can't see from the bright suns now that have risen in this firefight. You can't actually see in there. So, all right, who's up
No,
next?
Yeah.
Why would they ever
Ranger,
be careful?
you want to take over this thing?
Ranger's headies go.
All right.
How long
So
Vic?
Vic can't actually see any targets right now.
It's just dark in there.
Although
Correct.
doesn't his goggles give out night vision?
Well, actually, with the goggles that you've got, they give you low light vision, don't they? It'd be a
low
little
light.
weird because you're seeing through, like, it's bright outside, it's just super dark in there. But even if you could see in there, there's a wall. You basically see a wall on the entranceway to a cantina that looks like it curves around to the left.
What do you think, Vic?
Can you get us on this on the other side?
The other side. It'll take some time, Vic.
Yeah.
What do you want to do now?
I can't see anything from this direction.
It is a
I know
building
what
in
you
front
mean.
of you guys. Like, that's a full-sized building.
Yeah. It's still
you
your
do?
turn, Vic. I can't move this thing anymore.
Yeah, it's your turn now. He can't move it.
Get
So,
through the doorway.
all right. So you scream at him.
Hmm?
Can you move this thing? Get us. You didn't really tell him where. You just kind of told him to get to the other side.
Other side of what, Vic?
Is that what else you gonna do? You gonna do any maneuvers? You gonna sit in the
No.
vehicle?
No. I'm gonna say, hey Ranger, what should we do?
Shoot through that doorway, Vic.
Okay.
Okay.
Shoot into the dark, is what you're saying?
Vic is going to attack the darkness.
All right. You're gonna attack
Where
the darkness.
once we were one with the night, now it needs to die.
Now we are shooting.
This
All right.
one's off. Hopefully,
He's going-
hopefully.
So he is going to aim. And
Aim at what?
2 success, 2 advantage.
The doorway?
Just the
He's
building,
going to
I guess.
aim.
Yeah, the doorway.
He's going to aim in the front door, and
Uh-huh.
he's going to try and, while trying not to avoid hitting Kree, he's going to shoot a bunch of bolts through the door.
Because these guys are just, you don't see anything in there, so there's just nothing.
He
in
just,
there to
I
you.
know.
in my
Okay.
mind, I guess
But
he's just
he is-
attacking.
He is trying to intimidate the people inside.
Okay, so you are just
I'm
gonna
just
fire
giving that.
through there. All right. Well, one jumped out. I rolled too hard.
And that's when one guy jumps out the window.
So that is a
Dice have to
despair,
greet it.
and that is 3 threat and a failure.
Oh.
So
What?
So he got.
Good lord.
you fired this heavy cannon, general direction toward a doorway where one of your companions is no more than a few feet away from. The explosion rips the back of this wall completely out. The wall that was inside that you could just kind of make out just explodes. What did you roll for your hit?
2.2.
You got a 2.2. Okay. So, managing to, from your perspective, you have no idea if you hit someone or not. But there is definitely some rubble, and you can see light from the other side. So these rounds actually pierced through. One of the rounds lands on the wall behind Kree. Kree, I want you to, we're gonna go ahead and roll for, go and do a
difficulty.
coordination roll to see how much of, like, if you can roll with the debris that is blowing out of part of this wall.
God, we're just blowing up all the buildings around Kree.
Like I said, at a difficulty because of my crit.
Up, and then a difficulty for your crit. Okay, so that's okay.
1 success, 1 advantage.
1 success and 1 advantage. So, yeah, you managed to roll with and only take some of the. Yeah.
Does my defensive do anything for me?
It wasn't shooting at you. No, no, just your soak in this case. It's just gonna be your soak. So let's see how much damage that does. That weapon can do quite a bit, but you didn't get hit directly with it, so we'll just say it's a possibility maybe. So go ahead and take 4 damage and minus your soak. By the way, this wall is now just gone and blown all the way through. So there we go. And you've been thrown prone on your back over here.
Upside down.
Sorry about that.
I've got one hand touching the staff, one hand over my head.
So what I did was I cut the damage of the weapon in half because you didn't take the full hit. I rolled at that point a d20 to see kind of like how much of that half damage you would have taken, and luckily it rolled low, so you only took a portion of it, a percentage of it. That's the way that I'm gonna figure out damage like that, because that's one of those GM things where you're just gonna have to figure it out. So if it would have rolled high, that could have killed you. That was the despair. So if it would have rolled high and you would have taken the majority of the damage, I don't think you have that much soak to survive it. But luckily you rolled low, so just so people know.
I have
So
2 soak.
all right, and there's a bit of fire now coming out of that room right there,
Okay.
from the shots.
So Vic still has maneuver.
Okay.
He is going to jump out of the gunner seat and walk away.
He's just gonna
Just
jump
into the
out,
night.
jump out and walk away.
I
Walk
don't
into the
care
door.
where he goes. He is frankly done with shooting this thing. He hasn't had a damn thing with it, and he almost killed little sister.
All right, so you jump out of it.
So he is going to jump out of it, and he's going to sit down here, and he's going to think about what he almost did.
Good plan.
Timeout corner.
So Vic jumps out and walks over and sits down. Or I don't know if you sit down, but you just stand next to this rubble bit of a wall that's collapsed over time. And the fire, by the way, is blazing behind you where those tanks have gone off. And you can actually feel the heat from the flames as the fuel continues to burn. And these black clouds rise up way into the air.
Doesn't bug him the least. He's not even noticing it because he almost shot Kree.
All right, so who's up next? Basically, you guys should all be going, actually. There's no NPCs in between you anymore.
What's Or, sorry, ranger has left.
Well, since
Somebody
I'm
else's
that
turn.
close-
I give up.
Well, for sake of just rushing this through, because we're getting close, these guys are going to continue to run out of your firing range and disappear behind the cantina wall, where you can probably assume they've made their way inside.
Yeah.
So now the combat is, for the moment, finished. There are no targets within your vision. You do know that there are people on the inside. They had greeted you with a couple of blaster bolts, and you greeted the back with much larger rounds. Kree is currently on her back, the face first into the
I'm
dirt.
on my front. Just kinda
Yeah.
like, look.
Face first in, so I guess not on your back. Yeah, face first into the dirt, having been leaning behind the wall that now no longer exists. Ranger, I presume you're badly wounded, taking cover in the back there, having taken a high caliber round from a deployed weapon, and that's where I think we're gonna end it tonight. So, you guys have a bunch of what sounds like hold-up individuals inside a burning cantina. Until next time.
Till next time.
That's going to be the end of our adventure for tonight.
Oh, we've got plans. We've
That-
got plans.
So we went from like
I
the
also have
shopping
plans.
episode to full-on combat mode for this one. This is the biggest engagement you guys have ever been in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and 2 of our members have already been crit.
Man.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So
I mean, how much is this guy worth?
9k?
You guys have the bounty
9,000.
poster on it. It's like 9 or 10 if I remember
no.
right. Credits.
Yeah,
9.
9,000.
9 for this one.
9,000.
So. Did you guys have fun?
We don't know if this guy was in here. Oh yeah, I had fun.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. I love
Yeah.
a good combat round.
I'm surprised for the first time ever I didn't get shot at once.
Yeah.
No,
Did you not?
hit You
No.
took it was from falling down the hill.
No, that was all me falling down a hill.
Those rolls were so bad.
Yeah.
You guys rolled.
Solid rolls.
What shocked me, what I was talking to the stream about earlier, was that you've rolled as stealth, like as a group or just individually, it's been terrible. Like your stealth rolls outside of Cantios, who has stealth skills, have been really bad. Like 0.2, 0.3, just a couple of advantage, but never really any successes, and never against the things you needed to be. Today, you all rolled ridiculously well. I think every one of you had a couple of successes minimum on it, and they all rolled the worst. Like that guard continued to roll terribly not for perception, but for the skill. That one skill. What's it called? Vigilance.
Vigilance?
Yeah, vigilance to spot you. So, oi. But that's.
I
gonna
can't
be-
believe I managed to actually slit that guy's throat.
You didn't miss him like
yeah,
the Womp
that
Rat.
was good.
I know. I'm like, this is gonna happen again.
You
Like I had flashbacks.
And you stole the vehicle. Oh man.
Yep.
Fun time.
That was my
I
plan.
can't believe we ended up with the guy with the lowest gunnery skill in the entire group on a fucking cannon.
I didn't expect that either, but I didn't expect Blitz to get crit by that thing.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
That roll.
Ouch.
Some of those rolls were. Oof. But that's what happens when you go after a swoop gang outpost.
In their hideout,
No,
in
yeah.
their encampment.
guys
You know what? That
ranked
back
it up.
entrance. We still don't even know about that back entrance. Like,
I don't know,
Well-
maybe that was the cave they were talking about? Maybe the cave was the one that was booby trapped?
yeah, actually, maybe there
I
would
don't
have been more guards in the cave to get to here.
I do
That's
remember
true.
the guy you interviewed, you talked about.
Interrogated?
Interrogated, that's the word I'm thinking of. Interrogated did tell you what it was. Whether or not
You remember? Nah.
you guys remember or wrote it down, that's...
I remember what the trap was. I wrote it down. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think
the
we went
trap
in
was
that way,
definitely-
though. Just like,
We didn't. We just went around and fell. Oh well, you guys went around. I fell down.
yeah, you just like.
Oh,
fell
the,
down and-
the cliffside wasn't
bit.
trapped. You just didn't climb very well.
I swear to God, Tex, I swear to. Oh, I have a rope. What?
Hey, I have this rope. It'd be really
What?
useful if we used it.
You're like
I mean,
halfway down the
I'm just
mountain.
following your lead, you
I-
know. But
I
Oh.
saved you. I caught a basilisk
Big damn
falling
hero.
down a cliff, and then you're like, Oh, you know, I'll tell him about the rope after he falls face first into the dirt. It's fine.
Only to produce rope after the fact.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, I have that one thing that was probably gonna make this easier. Next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the stream and you want to see us continue these on the channel, we're going to be doing them starting back up on Mondays. Every Monday. Wednesday was just a special case for some scheduling issues, but now that's back to Monday, same time. We'll be starting at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As long as that's cool with you, right, Blitz? That was with your schedule, but only on Mondays?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool beans. Cool beans. So, I'm glad you guys had a fun time. And we will be back to find out what happens with this bounty that they're going after and whether or not they may have just vaporized their target with that shot. So, later, everybody.
I'm gonna hope no.
Bye.